And I'm like, I told you. You know what I mean? So, like, it was huge, and it just shows you the depth of our team. Like, we've won a lot of different games, many different ways this postseason, and we still have yet to play our best basketball. So for Mike to see some shots going in, gain some confidence, Dante to make some shots, you know what I mean? Like, that's huge going into the next series because, you know, to win the ultimate goal, we're going to need everybody.
I watched Mike warm up the other day just before practice, and he's hitting shots. I think he hit 6 in a row from the corner with his right hand. I mean, that is a different level of ability right there.
Yeah, if he would have missed another shot, I would have told him to start switching hands. So I'm glad he made some shots last game.
All right, Julius, the biggest thing you guys worked on in these last couple games building up to this, in just terms of what you guys can control, there's things you guys need to clean up. What would those be?
Turnovers. I think the biggest thing is just turning the ball over. When we don't turn the ball over, you know, we hold ourselves to, you know, 12 or 10 less turnovers a game, like we give ourselves a great shot, you know, because we have a lot of different guys and on the offensive end that can score the ball. So it's just things like that, turning the ball over, rebounding the ball. Those are things that we can control every night.
I know you touched on it a little bit, but just wrap up with this. How much fun are you having? I mean, with everything going on, you just had your third child. Everything seems you got a big smile on your face. Yeah. It seems like things are pretty good right now.
Man, I'm having a lot of fun. Like I said, it's conference finals. We're one of 4 teams competing. This is like what you dream of as a kid. So I'm living my dream, and you know, I got a great family supporting me behind it. I got great teammates, coaches, everything. So it's just you don't get these moments often, and when you do, you just got to cherish them and make the most of it. So I'm having a lot of fun.
Let's keep that dream going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Julius, appreciate the time. All the best.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Julius Randle. Cal, let's go back to you.
All right, thanks, guys. A fun moment of reflection and appreciation there from Julius ahead of tonight's Game 1 against the Thunder. We'll hear from head coach Chris Finch next on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Rosie here, plugging you into safety, service, and innovation. Edison Electric has been serving the Minneapolis and St. Paul area since 2007 and specializes in residential service, meaning they help you with all your home's electrical needs. From troubleshooting to panel replacements, they leave your home safer than when they arrived and provide 5-star service every time. Go to calledison.com for upfront pricing on all the residential electrical services in Minneapolis. That's calledison.com.
You're listening to the Tip-Off Show on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Just that we were who we are, you know, that's the biggest thing. That's enough with this team. I mean, if we just bet on who we are individually and collectively, we're a really hard team to beat. I just thought we stayed in character. We got off to a rough start. You know, we didn't panic. We just played the 48, and we tapped into who we are, you know, and that's the thing that I'm most, you know, satisfied with. Is I would hate to play a game 7 like this, an elimination game, and leave anything on the table. You know, you can live with the result and when you are who you are, and that's what we did today.
Thunder head coach Mark Daigneault watched his team remain true to themselves in that blowout Game 7 victory on Sunday. They now turn their attention to the Timberwolves beginning here tonight with Game 1. For more on Minnesota's 5-game series win over the Warriors and advancing to the Western Conference Finals, let's rejoin Alan Horton with Wolves head coach Chris Finch for tonight's pregame preview made possible by U.S. Bank.
All right, Coach, second straight year, Western Conference Finals. That hasn't happened in the West since 2019. Golden State's the last team to do it. That's a pretty big accomplishment, especially considering how tough the West has been to get there 2 straight years. Do you acknowledge to the team at some point, maybe after that win against Golden State to close them out, that what they've accomplished to get to this stage for a second straight year?
Yeah, we certainly did. We set the challenge to our guys on day 1 to validate what we did last year by trying to do it again, and that was the mission all season. And those guys did it, and you know, it's really the only thing we had to say after we clinched the last series was mission accomplished on that front.
What have you noticed out of the guys here? Most of the guys were here last year, with the exception of Dante and Julius, main pieces. But what have you noticed about sort of the preparation, the mindset, the focus this year compared to last year?
Yeah, I think a little bit more even-keeled. I think you know, coming out of the Denver series last year, it was frantic. Guys were on a high, and you know, we just didn't recalibrate quick enough. And not only do you have to recalibrate, you got to recalibrate and step it up a notch. So it's sometimes a hard thing to do. Guys have been really focused. We've had a number of really good days in practice here. Not sure how it'll translate, you know, after when you're off for a number of days as well, but it's the best possible scenario for us.
second straight round where you find out who your opponent is about 48 hours before game one.
Right.
You get the rest. They're coming off that game. Did you kind of change anything up as approaching the Golden State versus approaching Oklahoma City here?
We went live a little bit more over 2 days rather than just the one. That was for sure the case. And, just I think a lot of attention paid to us. Instead of trying to kind of split the baby and prepare for two teams, we focused mostly on us. And then when we knew who we were playing, we turned all of our attention to just the opponent.
Against that opponent, you're 2-2 in the regular season. I won't ask you if you glean too much from that because Rudy, Dante, and Julius missed 3 of those 4 games. But one thing we saw in the game here, the first meeting, December 31st, that third quarter, when they got going, forcing turnovers, your double-digit lead turned into a double-digit deficit really quick. Is that a good example, a sort of a warning of what can happen when they get rolling?
Yeah, that's the recipe. We can't turn it over. We can't give them live ball turnovers. We can't give them turnovers at the top of the floor. We can't give them turnovers in runs and in bunches, which is how they really get going, and they turn those into quick points. And that's what they did to Denver in Game 7 in the second quarter there to kind of put separation in that game. It's been their calling card. We've got to take care of the ball.
There are always keys going into a series, but I feel like that turnover battle is going to be the biggest, maybe in any series kind of you played during this postseason run the last 4 years.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, we got to take care of the ball, get shots at the basket every single time down, get second chance points, make the simple play, make the safe play.
When you're facing an Oklahoma City team led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, we saw this in the regular season. He gets to the free throw line, he gets whistles. You've talked about being mentally tough. How have you stressed that to the guys here heading into this series?
Well, we know. We've faced him a number of times, and it's incredible that he's managed to keep the foul rate the same through the playoffs. That usually kind of ticks down a little bit. He searches your body. You have to be disciplined with your hands. You got to be strong to be able to take the contact and recover well and smart. And then you just got to make the next play.
What's the biggest thing you learned from the 3 losses that they had against Denver? Was there sort of a common theme that you could pick up on in there?
I really believe that if you can avoid their knockout punch, which is largely fed by turnovers, then it's anyone's ball game.
Anthony Edwards has had a big postseason in 4 regular season games against OKC. Still impacted the game, but didn't shoot it quite well. Is there something that stands out about the way they're defending him with the likes of Lou Dort and Cason Wallace and Jalen Williams?
Well, they're very, very physical. They hold and they grab, but it's nothing we haven't seen before, and then they're going to give him different looks all the time, and it's nothing he hasn't seen before. So you just got to continue to kind of step by step his way through the game and stay aggressive and stay ready for what they're going to give him.
That's the head coach, Chris Finch. We'll rejoin Alan Horton and Jim Peterson next on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Western Conference Finals. A season ago, it was a dominant 56-win campaign, which earned the Wolves the number 3 seed in the West, and they rocketed into the postseason, got past Denver in 7 games, and advanced to their first Western Conference Finals in 20 years. This season, same result, but the Wolves have taken a different path to get there, adjusting to new acquisitions, Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, battling through injury-riddled months of January and February, and having to fight for the top 6 spot to earn their way out of the play-in picture. But in the end, the Wolves are right back at the same spot that head coach Chris Finch challenged the team to get back to before the season.
Every team goes through a lot, and it's just, everyone wants to rush the process. Everybody wants everything to be great and compare it to what you've done in the past. All that's kind of irrelevant, really, when you have a new team coming into a season. And the challenge we laid down to our guys from day one was quite simple. It was one question, were you a Western Conference Finals team, or were you a team that just happened to make the Western Conference Finals? And there's only one way to prove that. Go out and do it again. And that was our mission all year. And, it took a lot of growing pains, but the team's come together at the right time and playing its best basketball. So.
And Chris Finch's squad finished the regular season 17-4. They've now gone 8-2 in the postseason. So 25-6 over the last 2+ months. That's the second best record in the NBA. And Anthony Edwards says it's the right mentality at the right time of the year that's resulted in this team's success.
I told him today, the most together team and the most mature team is the team that wins around this time. It's not about who get 30 points, who get the most shots, who get all the blame for winning the game, and it's not about none of that. It's about coming together as a team. Can we defend at a high level, and can we limit the other team to one shot? It doesn't really matter about offense. As long as we get good shots, and it don't matter who shoot it. So we did that tonight.
Anthony Edwards, 5 years in the NBA, 4 trips to the postseason, twice to the Western Conference Finals. The 6th-seeded Timberwolves, the number 1 seed in the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder, 68 wins in the regular season. They had the number 1 net rating amongst all teams. They set an NBA record for outscoring their opponents by almost 13 points a game. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals is coming up next. Starting lineups, keys to the game, the opening tip, Wolves and Thunder. Jim Peterson and I have the call next all across the Minnesota Timberwolves Radio Network.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it. Because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
Incubus, live. Nice to know you. Performing the album Morning View in its entirety, plus the hits. Saturday, July 5th, the Treasure Island Amphitheater. With special guest Manchester Orchestra. On sale now at TICasino.com. Don't miss Incubus performing Morning View in its entirety, plus the hits.
Hello, this is Jan at Toyota.
Hi, Jan. Is now a good time to get a new Toyota?
It is. We like to say your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer. Now through June 2nd, we have a great selection of Camrys, Corollas, Tundras, and more.
Your summer starts here. I'm a pet sitter, and business is way up as people enjoy their new Toyotas. Stop, Sebastian. Goldie is not dinner. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Toyota, let's go places.
Wolves fans, this team is only getting better, and next season starts now.
Nas with it off to Ant. Drives in and hammers it through with the right hand.
Bring it with a full, half, or quarter season membership and get playoff priority, exclusive perks, and every can't-miss moment from Anthony Edwards.
It's Ant's time. He's taking over here in the 4th.
Don't wait. Head to Timberwolves.com/memberships to claim your seats.
Oh, the energy in the building right now is through the roof. Hey Timberwolves fans, ready to score big with Wolves gear without breaking the bank? Let me introduce you to Sezzle and the Pay in 4 program. With Sezzle, you can split your payments into 4 easy, interest-free installments on all your Wolves purchases. From jerseys and hoodies to courtside seats, Sezzle has got you covered. Wherever you shop, however you rep the Wolves. Download the Sezzle app and get started today. Sezzle, the official jersey patch sponsor of the Timberwolves. Subject to approval, see terms and conditions at Sezzle.com.
As a business owner, you understand the importance of protecting your reputation, workplace, employees, and financial assets. Our team is ready to help yours by creating a custom lineup of industry-specific coverages and risk management service to help you stay at the top of your game. Contact your local federal-rated representative for more information today. Rated A+, Superior by AM Best Company.
You're listening to the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Paycom Center, downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma for Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. The Timberwolves in 5 games dispatched of the LA Lakers in round 1, a 6 over a 3 seed. In the second round, a 6 over a 7 seed for the first time in NBA history. 4 games to 1, the Wolves dispatched the Warriors. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, they swept the number 8 seed Memphis Grizzlies in the opening round for zip. And in the second round, they needed 7 games to get past Denver. That sounds familiar. The Timberwolves just a year ago needed 7 games in the second round to get past the Denver Nuggets. And now a matchup in the Western Conference Finals. Jim, Anthony Edwards leading a Timberwolves team. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading a Thunder team. Both teams built through their defense. Both teams have depth. Both teams playing really good basketball. How much are you looking forward to this matchup?
Yeah, this is this was a collision course. You and I were talking about this earlier in the pregame show that Minnesota really isn't a 6 seed. They're a 2 seed in terms of how they play statistically, offensive and defensive and net rating. The way that the veteran leadership they had Minnesota not had the injuries they had. You think about the month of February, all the games that Minnesota dropped before All-Star break, after All-Star break, when Julius was out, when Rudy was out. So some of that is mitigated by the fact that Minnesota really came together after, once March hit and Julius came back, everything clicked in, and they've looked like a number 2 seed. This looks like a matchup that should have happened anyway.
Thunder rolled through the regular season, 68 wins. That's a franchise record. They outscored opponents by 10 or more points 54 times this year. That was number 1 in the NBA. They outscored them by 13 points a game. That's number 1 in NBA history. They had the 3rd best offense, the number 1 defense, the number 1 net rating. But they did struggle a bit last round against the Denver Nuggets, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was asked about what he learned from his squad needing 7 games and winning Game 7 on their home floor.
I mean, I think for me personally, I'm in year 11, and I know how fast 11 years is going for me personally, so I think you always had a heightened, sense of urgency. Just knowing that these things don't turn around, and obviously we got a special group of players, a special team, so you always try to take advantage of the moment when you get these moments. Some people get here or never get here, in their career, so you try to take advantage of the moment. I can't really worry about what's to come next year or 5 years from now. All I know is I'm here right now, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to take advantage of it.
Now, that was not the voice of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That was Julius Randle, one of those new acquisitions that it took some time to become accustomed to. But I thought Julius summed that up really well, of enjoying the moment and taking advantage of it. He said it, 11 years, he's never gotten to this point. He's going to make the most of it.
You have to. I went to the NBA Finals my second year in the NBA with Hakeem Olajuwon. We thought we'd go every year, and Dream ended up going back, but I didn't, and the guys that were on that team didn't. So these teams change so quickly, and I like the fact that Julius has that perspective.
He and Dante DiVincenzo, the new additions from last season. Here's what Shai had to say about that Denver series, going 7 games and pulling it out.
Nothing I didn't already know, but we can win no matter the environment, no matter the type of game. It can be ugly, it can be pretty, it can be high scoring, it can be low scoring, it can be a lot of free throws, it can be no free throws. No matter what it is, we can find a way to win. And I think that's very important this time of year. But yeah, like I said, I already knew that about us, and we have to keep implying that going forward.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the NBA's leading scorer in the regular season and is the likely MVP. Did you see any holes in the Thunder in that 7-game series against the Nuggets?
I think that sometimes they can get into some scoring droughts, and I think that Minnesota's a much better defensive team than the Denver Nuggets are. Wolves are going to switch up defenses. They're going to be playing a lot of man, obviously, and they have so many different line combinations, but they'll mix in zone, and we've seen them prep for this series, and I think they're ready for this challenge. This coaching staff is prepared, and we've had so many battles over the years since Chris Finch has been here with this OKC Thunder team. These two teams know each other very well.
Timberwolves starting lineup, it hasn't changed in any game in the postseason. Mike Conley and Anthony Edwards in the backcourt together. Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert up front. For the OKC Thunder, their starting 5 has Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Luguentz Dort in the backcourt together. Jalen Williams, who averaged 22 points a game, a career high for him now in his 3rd season. He is the small forward. Chet Holmgren, the power forward, and Isaiah Hartenstein is the big man in the middle. 2 bigs. Wolves haven't seen a lineup in Golden State or LA that really even had 1 big, and now they're facing a legit front court for the first time here in this postseason. Timberwolves come out in their statement edition shadow grays with the frost white and aurora green trim. The Oklahoma City Thunder going with their association white jerseys. And Jim, I know you love numbers. And the Wolves, when they wear their statement edition uniforms, 3-0 in the postseason, 13-6 overall on the season. And when they wear these bad boys on the road, these are their best jerseys of the 4. 8-1 all in the regular season, 3-0 in the postseason. Opening tip tossed up by Pat Frayer, and Rudy Gobert wins the tip, and the Western Conference Finals are underway. Wolves will bring it up here from left to right. Jaden McDaniels with it up top, left to low. He'll fire on the straightaway 3 and stroke it. 3-0 Timberwolves out to the early lead. You're going to leave Jaden wide open. He's going to shoot that. Jaden had been just 2 for 8 on his above-the-break threes until that shot. And Jalen Williams gets it knocked away. It ricochets off his own leg and out of bounds, so already a turnover on Oklahoma City. And that is the word that I think will define this series, turnovers.
Yeah.
If the Wolves, what's the magic number for the Wolves in your eyes to limit those turnovers.
You got to keep it under 14.
Jaden pull up straight away, 16-footer, hits again, 5-0. Jaden McDaniels leads the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Because on the other side of the ledger, though, they don't turn it over either. So that's the other part of it, is that they take care of their basketball.
Number 1 differential in the NBA. Over 5 turnovers per game. Gilgeous-Alexander, a left wing 3. That's way long. Never hit the rim. Came off the window, and Anthony Edwards controls. Here's Conley up into the front court. Jaden McDaniels with a touch right back to Ant. 4th leading scorer in the regular season. Ant one-on-one against Chet Holmgren. Sizes him up, steps back on the triple try, and hits it. The Timberwolves out to the 8-0 lead. A couple of threes from Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels, plus a deuce from Jaden, and the Wolves lead at 8-0. Staggered screen, SGA to the elbow. Pump fakes, got Rudy in the air, leans in, draws the contact, and he'll go to the free throw line for 2. Besides turnovers, probably the number 2 key to the game is this guy at the free throw line and his ability to get to the stripe. The free throw merchant that is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, and I think Minnesota can win the free throw battle. It's not something that this OKC Thunder team does a lot of. They lose the free throw battle a lot, but they're hoping to, because they foul so much. That's the one thing. They're so aggressive defensively that I think Minnesota's going to get a chance to get to the free throw line, but can you limit? We don't need Jaden McDaniels getting into foul trouble trying to guard SGA.
Or Rudy Gobert getting in foul difficulty as well. He picked up that last one. SGA goes 1 out of 2 at the free throw line. Yeah, for as often as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets to the free throw line, and he got there 9 times a game in the regular season, only Giannis got there more. The Thunder are 28th in the league in free throw rate. Rudy inside, bottled up, now gets the ball back, puts it up, shot no, and an offensive foul against Rudy.
That's number 2. Now we got to see Naz Reid.
So just a minute and 38 seconds into this game, Rudy Gobert has 2 personal fouls. James Capers, the crew chief, will slow things up so that Naz Reid can get into the game. Rudy Gobert comes out. I'm always amazed for guys who do come off the bench. You always have to be ready. I mean, Naz wouldn't normally come in this early, but you've got to be prepared in case something like this happens.
Right. I don't know if he was back in the hallway riding an exercise bike or what he was doing, but he was not on the bench.
Hartenstein with it, straddling the three-point line wing right, hand off to SGA, hounded by McDaniels. That's a key matchup. He bangs away with Jaden, double clutches in the paint, forced it up, didn't get the shot, and Jaden rips down the rebound. He'll bring it up into the front court from left to right. Now Naz off to Ant wing left, 8-1. Timberwolves on top by 7. Against Chet, thought about the step back 3, off to McDaniels, right back to Ant, the free throw line. He pivots, now straight up, spin move in the lane, got tripped up, went down, lost the ball. The Thunder come away with it, SGA with it. 9:45 to go in the first. Wolves up by 7. SGA on the hunt, in the lane, runs into 2 defenders, dishes it off nicely to Hartenstein, who slams it for 2. Terrific vision by SGA.
Tyler Ford calls delay a game after Hartenstein, after the dunk, kicks the basketball towards center court.
I don't know if he did call it.
He did call it.
He did? Okay. Oh, they lead us 1-0 in delay of game warnings. Here is Mike Conley. Up top, 2-man game with Julius Randle. Keeps it himself, drives in, swings it to the corner. Jaden out of the angle. Julius with it against Lou Dort. Pops on the 3. It's offline, off front rim. Jalen Williams a rebound with a head of steam on the attack. Down the lane on Ant. He's bottled up. He'll lob it back out. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Bumped by Conley. Spins in the lane. He gets mugged and goes down. Mike Conley will pick it up. And that's very quickly 3 team fouls against the Wolves here in the opening quarter. 9:11 left to go in the opening frame. These two teams split their 4 meetings, but there's really not much you can glean, I think, from the 4 meetings based on the fact that Rudy, Julius, and Dante missed 3 of the 4.
Oh, I got to tell you, though, that game that they won before All-Star break was huge for Minnesota.
It was. The comeback, the 25-point comeback, tying the largest in franchise history. Here's Naz, nearly threw it away. Randle now bumped on the perimeter, and finally a foul is called on Lou Dort.
Well, I'm saying they remember the game they lost to Milwaukee before the break, and then they beat OKC after the break. Then they lose that game, but then they come back and they come here and they win. That was the overtime game. That was game 4. But the game that they won at Target Center, no Rudy, no Mike, no Dante, no Julius in that game. And that was just an amazing victory that they needed to have because that was a tough stretch of the season for Minnesota.
I do feel like the Wolves needed that game more than Oklahoma City. I almost feel like
100%.
they had been already on the plane to All-Star break.
Right.
How about Ant for a pull-up mid-range jumper left side, and he drains it to put the Wolves up 10-3. Pull-up twos, and it's only 2 of 5 shooting in the postseason on those shots. Ant's really limited that
What is
shot.
going on?
SGA shoves off on the drive by Conley, frees himself, but missed the shot. Timberwolves pull down the rebound. Ant up into the front court. Met by Dort at the three-point line. Between the legs, setting him up. Right-handed dribble. Now switches to the left. At the elbow. Backing him down. Spins, lost the ball. Jalen Williams one-on-one against Julius Randle. He'll bump shoulders. He'll drive. And backtracking is Ant to block the shot. What a play by Edwards. Here's Conley on the run. To the rim. Softly off the glass. Shot no. Rebound loose. Julius couldn't control it. It's out of bounds. And it will be Thunder basketball. Well, the Wolves were trying to challenge. They didn't have enough time. OKC inbounded quickly. Here's SGA in the lane. Forces one up. Hunts for the foul. He got it. And the Wolves are going to pick up a technical foul against Jaden McDaniels. He threw the ball at SGA as he was lying on the floor. What a block by Edwards as we're taking a look at that replay. Boy, he turned it over, but he made up for it, Jim, when he hustled back down the floor.
He certainly did, but they've got to limit that kind of action, though. It's a straight line drive series, Alan. It's not a turn your back to your defender and try to back people down. There are too many prying hands in there. Their gap help is too good. They're going to strip you anytime you do it. He and Julius both have to limit that kind of action. Shea hits
the technical free throw, which goes against Jaden McDaniels. Now he's at the line for 2.
It was Anthony Edwards that threw it at SGA, though. It wasn't Jaden McDaniels.
Oh, I stand corrected.
It was Ant that tossed it to him out of bounds. So Ant got the technical foul.
Free throws are good for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. It's 10-6. He's 4 of 5 at the free throw line. He's missed all 3 shots he's taken. Mental toughness, something you need on the road, especially here in OKC. Here's Julius Randle, wing left, bangs away with Hartenstein in the block. One-on-one here, into the paint, double clutches, off-balance shot. No, he thought he got fouled there. Here's Hartenstein with a rebound. SGA right side, Jalen Williams. Back to SGA up top off a Hartenstein screen. And he gets fouled in the lane, Julius Randle. And SGA is going back to the stripe. This will be his 6th and 7th free throw attempts of the opening quarter.
It's the 5th foul that he's drawn already in the quarter. And he just throws his body. He's gotten away with how many push-offs so far when he's driven into the paint area. Jalen Williams, the same thing. They're battering ram their shoulder into the defender in transition. I don't know what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to defend them. This is the question every time we play OKC is if you're a Minnesota defender, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to take the hit from them, but if you touch them at all, it's a foul. And that's what we've experienced here so far.
2 free throws good. SGA now 5 of 7 at the free throw line. 10-7. The Wolves still lead by 3 here, but the fouls are starting to mount. That's already 5 fouls against the Wolves. Randle, a pull-up 3 left side. He drains that from beyond the arc. He's shooting 35% from deep here in the postseason. His strong postseason play continues. 24 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Shea gets free inside and scores it for 2. He's knifed between 2 defenders, Naz Reid and Julius Randle. SGA up to 7 points. Here's Randle with it up top against Jalen Williams. Starts to back him down at the dotted line. Again, he turned his back, Jim. You just talked about it. Turnover. Here's Cason Wallace on the push. The lob to Hartenstein, and he throws it down along the baseline. 13-11, Wolves by 2. With 6:50 left to go opening quarter. Here's Naz Reid, left side against Jalen Williams. Out to Jaden McDaniels. He'll attack in the lane. His pass to the corner. Gets to Randle. Fires on the triple and hits again. Back-to-back threes for Randle. The Wolves lead by 5. That's a big-time answer by Julius Randle. Jalen Williams down the left side of the lane. Drops it back. Hartenstein. Kick out right side. Dort's wide open on the 3. The high arcer hits off back iron, and then Hartenstein fouls Mike Conley coming up the floor. Timeout on the floor with 6:21 left to go in the opening quarter. despite Shea Gilgeous-Alexander getting to the free throw line 7 times here in the opening 5.5 minutes. The Wolves still on top. The score, Minnesota on top 16-11 on the Timberwolves radio network.
Yeah. Hey, look, a W is a W. And thanks to our FVP batteries in the lineup, we're playing up to our potential. I mean, you saw it out there today. What I'm loving about this FVP battery right now is the consistency. Day in, day out. I mean, no drama. Great work ethic with tremendous upside. I said this before. You gotta be a self-starter in this league. That's why FVP is my MVP. Automotive batteries from FVPparts.com. You gotta reach for what works.
Next question. As a business owner, do you have a game plan in place to stay focused on safety and preventing claims? Let our team help support your business. Federated Insurance offers a customizable lineup of industry-specific coverages and risk management services to help you continue your winning streak. At Federated Mutual Insurance Company, it's our business to protect yours. Rated A+ Superior by AM Best Company.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with the new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today. Based on calendar year total sales.
Rosie here, plugging you into safety, service, and innovation. Edison Electric has been serving the Minneapolis and St. Paul area since 2007 and specializes in residential service, meaning they help you with all your home's electrical needs. From troubleshooting to panel replacements, they leave your home safer than when they arrived and provide 5-star service every time. Go to calledison.com for upfront pricing on all the residential electrical services in Minneapolis. That's calledison.com.
Timberwolves are up by 5. It doesn't feel like they're up 5, but they are. It's 16-11. We approach the midway point of the opening quarter. Before we get back to action, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification all across the Minnesota Timberwolves radio network. Along with studio host and executive producer Cal Soderquist, I'm Alan Horton, joined by Jim Peterson. Western Conference Finals Game 1, Wolves and Thunder. Our engineer is Britt Lockhart. Our statistician is Super Dave Handel, and our studio coordinators Alex Leibolt and Ben Haney. Glad you're along with us on our flagship back in the Twin Cities. 100.3 FM, KFAN, The Fan, iHeartRadio app, Timberwolves mobile app, NBA app, Audio League Pass available for you there on the NBA app and NBA.com. Sirius XM, satellite radio, and all across the vast and ever-expanding Timberwolves radio network. From WDAL up in Duluth to Wilmer to International Falls. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Appreciate you all listening in here to Game 1 tonight. Wolves bring it up left to right. Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo into the game, as is Naz Reid. Pass wing left, jumped by Cason Wallace, and he commits the foul. It's his first.
Anytime you're trying to make an entry pass into the elbows, or if somebody's getting a pin down, you've got to be very, very careful when you pass the basketball. They are shooting the gap. They are trying to getting into passing lanes. It's very important you be sure of where you're passing the basketball.
Wolves have turned it over 3 times early on. They've come in the last 3 minutes. Here's Randall going to work on Jalen Williams, mid-post left side. Kicks back out. Dante, catch and shoot. 3 on the way. Is online, but short. Naz offensive rebound. Put back off the heel. No. Rebound loose again. Jaden fights for it. He's got it in the corner. He got stripped. Cason Wallace comes away with it. Turnover number 4. SGA on the move. He's got 7 points. Just 1 field goal. And he pulls up mid-post right side and sinks the mid-range jumper. That's where he makes his money. From the mid-range. Old school. Dante, drive in the lane. He got bumped, lost the ball, and no whistle. Turnover. Here's Jalen Williams on the move, top of the key. Drops it back out. SGA on the run against Randall. Drops it off for Lou Dort, who dribbles out of trouble to the perimeter. 5.5 to go here, opening quarter. 10 on the shot clock. Jalen Williams against Anthony Edwards. Spin move in the lane, and another whistle and another foul will go against the Wolves. I mean, they're really starting to add up now.
This is a disaster.
And yet the Wolves are still up by 3.
Yeah, but it's not tenable to be able to not be able to play this game without fouling. I mean, every time Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I am just fearful right now. He's either going to draw a foul or score the basketball, and it's exactly what he's been doing.
He's been doing it to the tune of 33 points a game in the regular season, number 1 in the league. He's averaging 29 points here in the postseason, to go along with 6 rebounds and 6 assists. He struggled a bit in games 3 and 4 in Denver. He only averaged 22 points, shot 37%, but the last 3 games of that Denver series, back to 33 points a game on 60% shooting, and a whole bunch of that came at the free throw line.
Yeah. Well,
free throw is good for Jalen Williams. He hits 2, and it's 16-15.
Cason Wallace came into the game for Chet Holmgren. Chet's already back into the game for Hartenstein. So smaller lineup on the floor for OKC.
Ant with it up top, 2-man game. Jaden sets the screen. Ant uses that to the left elbow. Back out to Jaden, who crosses over. Lost it. Scooped up by Jalen Williams. He's on the run. Nobody's going to stop him. To the rim. He'll jam it for 2. And the Timberwolves find themselves trailing for the first time in this Western Conference Finals, 17-16.
It's a bad prescription to be turning it over and fouling every time.
Here's Randall stepping through in the lane. Hangs and kicks out to McDaniels, right wing, down to the corner. Dante, he'll drive baseline up top. Nas wide open on the 3-ball attempt. That clangs off the front rim. Chet Holmgren with the rebound. He's surrounded by a couple of Timberwolves defenders, Randall and Edwards. They knocked it out of his hands. Ant claims that it should be Timberwolves ball, but the call goes in favor of OKC. So the Wolves have committed 6 fouls here in the opening 7.5 minutes of this game, and they've turned it over 6 times. So 6 turnovers, 6 fouls, not exactly the ratio you'd be looking for.
Yeah,
just 7.5 minutes into the game.
And not a way to keep the turnovers under 14.
No, that seems like a long shot now at this point. Here's SGA, drives on McDaniels, kick out to Isaiah Joe. Now in the corner in front of the Thunder bench, it's Holmgren coming across the lane. He'll chuck it to the corner. Wallace, a contested 3, no. That was a pretty good force of this Timberwolves defense. Force that kind of shot. A contested triple. OKC shooting just 32% from deep in the postseason. Here's Ant off the Nickeil Alexander-Walker screen. Baseline pull up over Chet. It's in and out, no. Isaiah Joe has the rebound. Timberwolves starting this game 6 of 14 shooting. Joe rubs off the Holmgren screen, works on Ant right side. Out to SGA against McDaniels. At the right angle, 6 feet beyond the arc. Shot clock dwindling down to 8. Now the high screen by Wallace. Switched on to Naz Reid. Shea still with it with 2. Now with 1. He's going to pull up on the 3. He does, and it's offline. Jaden McDaniels has the rebound. So the Wolves with Dante and Nickeil in the backcourt together with Ant, Jaden, and Naz up front. Julius Randle off the floor. Naz goes to work in the lane. Swings it to the corner. Dante with an open look at a 3, and he drains it. Right in front of the Wolves bench. Great play by Naz, sucking in that defense, and a corner 3. And OKC gives up their fair share of corner 3-point attempts.
They certainly do, the most in the league.
12 attempts a game in the regular season. Chet, in between 2 defenders, drives, lost the ball out of bounds, and Tyler Ford says Timberwolves basketball. Ooh, and Jalen Clark will check in with 3:10 to go here in the opening quarter.
Thought this might happen.
Or will
he's getting ready to check in. And
Jaden McDaniels will sit down.
He's been the best defender for SGA.
So OKC has called a timeout, and they're going to challenge that last call.
Right.
The substitution allowed them to have the opportunity to review it, and I don't know if it went out or now you bring in the proximity foul, the foul proximate to the play. So James Capers will come to the...
Oklahoma City is challenging the ruling of out of bounds.
And it could be a foul, it could be Thunder basketball. We'll find out when we come back. 3:10 left to go in the opening quarter. Wolves still up by 2, 19-17 on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Hello, this is Jan at Toyota.
Hi, Jan. Is now a good time to get a new Toyota?
It is. We like to say your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer. Now through June 2nd, we have a great selection of Camrys, Corollas, Tundras, and more.
Right, your summer starts here.
I'm a pet sitter, and business is way up as people enjoy their new Toyotas.
Stop, Sebastian. Goldie is not dinner.
Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, Timberwolves fans, ready to score big with Wolves gear without breaking the bank? Let me introduce you to Sezzle and the Pay in 4 program. With Sezzle, you can split your payments into 4 easy, interest-free installments on all your Wolves purchases. From jerseys and hoodies to courtside seats, Sezzle has got you covered. Wherever you shop, however you rep the Wolves. Download the Sezzle app and get started today. Sezzle, the official jersey patch sponsor of the Timberwolves. Subject to approval, see terms and conditions at Sezzle.com.
How about a scoreboard update courtesy of your local Toyota dealers? Visit Toyota.com today. Let's go places. Obviously, when we get to this point of the NBA postseason, there's only one other matchup that's taking place. It's happening in the Eastern Conference Finals, and it features the New York Knicks and Indiana Pacers. Game 1 set for tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden, where Karl Anthony Towns and the New York Knicks will attempt to get out to a hot start. Cat has averaged nearly a 20-point, 11-rebound double-double in his 12 playoff games with the Knicks thus far. But he spoke to the media recently about how the Knicks still have not put together a full 48-minute effort in his estimation.
We haven't played 48 minutes of great basketball. I thought that the last game, again in the Boston series, we finally looked like a team that got closer to playing all 48 minutes. We got to find a way to accomplish that every game now. You know, this is the time to be at our best, and we need to be at our best.
Of course, the Pacers eliminated the Knicks in last year's playoffs, so there's the revenge angle there. And Cat obviously back in the conference finals, this time in the East after reaching the Western Conference Finals with the Wolves. Game 1 tipped tomorrow night from MSG just after 7 o'clock. Let's get back to the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City.
But
the out-of-bounds play is not clear and conclusive, and the ruling on the floor stands. It is Minnesota ball. That is a charge timeout to Oklahoma City. They have no more reviews for the remainder of the game.
So there you have it from James Capers. The Wolves, no foul, and the ball is off, out of bounds, off Chet Holmgren. And so the Thunder are without a challenge the rest of the game. We have 3:10 left to go in the opening quarter, so there's a long way to go. Timberwolves are up 19-17. They've gotten 6 points from Julius Randle. They've gotten 5 from Jaden McDaniels and 5 from Anthony Edwards. Dante DiVincenzo's 3. That accounts for all 19 of the Wolves' points. But the Wolves are having trouble taking care of the basketball, which is a big key in this series. Already 6 turnovers for 10 OKC points. Wolves bring it up left to right, and off to Nikhil, wing left. He's guarded by his cousin, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Here's Nas, straddling the three-point line left side, hounded by Caruso. Got a huge hand coming into the game. Nikhil misses a straightaway 3, and here come the Thunder on the push. Isaiah Joe with it, drives on Dante, stops in the low block, kick back out to Caruso. Up top to Chet, little show and go. He drives, bank shot, missed it. Too strong. Pretty good defense there by Naz Reid. 19-17 the count. Wolves up by 2. Dante on the move, cut off by Isaiah Joe. Wing right, Nas, catch and shoot 3 on the way. That's offline. He's 0 of 2 from distance. Timberwolves starting this game 5 of 10 on their threes. Oklahoma City 0 of 4. Shai against Jalen Clark. Inside, Holmgren bowls over Naz Reid, and a blocking foul is called.
Good call.
Nas was kind of under the backboard at that point.
Chet didn't have the ability to come down. It was a lob over the top by SGA. Chet catches it in one fell swoop, and Nas is trying to take the charge, but obviously if Chet were to catch that in the lower defensive box, Nas could have taken a charge inside the restricted area, but Chet didn't even have time to land that time, and Nas was up underneath him, so it's a good call by Mark Lindsay.
Holmgren at the free throw line for 2 shots. Jalen Clark, in 3 games against the Thunder in the regular season, he got opportunities. In fact, he started 3 games. Really, the Wolves lost the 1 game at home. I think when Jalen Clark went down and hit his head along the baseline, and that changed the complexion of that game.
It certainly did.
But he held SGA to 5 of 17 shooting when he was the primary defender. The Wolves are hoping he can do a similar type thing here.
How about the kid doesn't play? When is the last time Jalen Clark played meaningful minutes? I mean, I know you got to guard the best player, best scorer on the planet.
Yeah. Here's your minutes. Go out there and guard the MVP of the league. Yeah. Here's Nikhil matched up against Isaiah Joe, wing left to drive inside the arc. Hand off to Jalen Clark, who spins and
Defensive 3 seconds.
Defensive 3 seconds against the Thunder. Yeah, SGA does something wrong. So a free throw coming up. Ant will step to the line to take it with 1:52 left to go in the quarter. Wolves are up by 2, and Timberwolves basketball tonight is brought to you by U.S. Bank. Proud to be the official bank of the Timberwolves. And fans, the playoffs are heating up. But there's still a time to catch games live in person at Target Center. Lock in your postseason tickets right now. Timberwolves.com/playoffs. Timberwolves.com/playoffs. Ant hit the technical free throw. The Wolves maintain possession. They're up by 3. Ant drifting to the right side. Sees a host of defenders, mainly Kaysen Wallace. Now switched down to Isaiah Joe. Still on the perimeter, 3 to shoot. Back to his right, it's Nikhil. He'll put it on the deck to the top of the keel. Rise up for the jumper. It's off front rim. No. Clark battling inside. Doesn't get the rebound, but he gets the whistle as he got fouled by Kenrich Williams.
Kenrich Williams has been a good player against the Timberwolves. He's only played 50 minutes during the playoffs so far, so he's played about a third of the minutes that SGA has. That give you kind of a perspective. He doesn't play every game, and that's not true. He's played all 4 games in that Denver series, but
limited minutes.
Yes.
And he's gotten into it with Rudy Gobert before. Also, we have the Jaden McDaniels fracturing the orbital bone of Jalen Williams in a game a few years ago. Shot clock violation on the Wolves. They put up a shot, never hit the rim. Jalen Clark had the rebound, but it expired before he could get up a shot. So that'll go down as another Wolves turnover. That would be their 7th. 7 turnovers in the opening quarter, yet they still lead by 3. It's a dangerous game to play. Here's SGA against Clark to the free throw line. Out to Isaiah Joe. Steps into a 3 and knocks down the Thunder's first triple of the night. They're 1 of 5 from long range. Isaiah Joe has tied the game at 20. 1 minute to go, opening quarter. Game 1, Wolves and Thunder. Ant with it on the hunt, right of the lane. Sees a lot of white defenders. Now Nikhil Alexander-Walker. Back to Ant up top. Back to Nikhil. Catch and shoot 3 on the way. Is online. Popped out. Jalen Clark. Offensive rebound, and the putback is good. How about JC sneaking in there?
Love it.
Getting the offensive rebound. That's an area the Wolves want to take advantage of. Even though they didn't have a lot of size in the 4 regular season meetings, they averaged 14 offensive rebounds and 22 second chance points. Here's SGA hanging in the lane. Thought he got fouled. No, he missed the shot. Wolves have the rebound. Pretty good defense by Jalen Clark. Under 30 seconds to go. Wolves bring it up left to right. Up by 2. Against Kaysen Wallace. Ant will cross over. Left-handed dribble in the paint. Runs into Caruso. Bank shot. No, but a whistle and a foul. Ant is hunched over a little bit, grabbing his right ankle and foot.
Pretty quiet in here right now.
It gets quiet. It will get super loud. I think, he kind of tweaks it on his way down. He landed kind of on his, not a full ankle roll, but I would say like the tip of his foot kind of twists a little bit.
Yeah. It's not a full ankle roll. It's not as bad as what's happened to his left ankle a couple times when LeBron rolled up on him and when he sprained it again. Who was it that fell on him in that last series? I forget who it was now.
Trace Jackson
Davis fell on him, yep.
So Ant to the free throw line, knocks down the first. They missed the second one. The rebound to Kenrich Williams. Thunder should have the final possession of the quarter. It's 23-20, Wolves on top. Kaysen Wallace up the center of the floor, picked up by McDaniels. SGA sets the high screen. That switches Ant on to Kaysen Wallace. Back to SGA against McDaniels to the left elbow. Now moves to his left, fires and misses short. The horn sounds, and that'll do it. Through 1 quarter play here in Game 1, the Timberwolves survive a 7-turnover opening quarter and yet still lead after 1, 23-20. We're back with the second quarter next, all across the Minnesota Timberwolves radio network.
2 bands, 1 night. Bachman-Turner Overdrive. The Marshall Tucker Band. Roll on down the Highway 2025 tour. Saturday, July 19th, live at the Treasure Island Amphitheater with special guest Jefferson Starship. A night of vintage PTO. A night of classic Marshall Tucker Band. Tickets on sale now at TICasino.com.
At Target, we're home court advantage for the hometown sports fans. And with the Timberwolves season in full gear, we're here to help you gear up and make your game day prep a slam dunk. Hear that? That's what you call a buzzer-beating three-pointer for the win. Time to dish up your famous nachos or put a full-court press on some jalapeno poppers. Then serve up some sweet desserts to celebrate the W. However you do game day, we're here for it at Target and Target.com.
Wolves fans, this team is only getting better, and next season starts now.
Nas with it off to Ant. Drives in and hammers it through with the right hand.
Bring it with a full, half, or quarter season membership and get playoff priority, exclusive perks, and every can't-miss moment from Anthony Edwards.
It's Ant's time. He's taking over here in the fourth.
Don't wait. Head to Timberwolves.com/memberships to claim your seats.
Oh, the energy in the building right now is through the roof.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
You're listening to the Timberwolves Radio Network.
After one quarter play here in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, the Wolves lead the Thunder 23-20. Jim Peterson, Alan Horton along with you from Paycom Center. The Wolves' 7 turnovers resulted in 13 Oklahoma City points. But if you take away those 13 points for the Thunder, Jim, they've managed just 7 points, sort of in, I guess I would say, half court.
Yeah. Well, it's what I was saying. You asked
some of those points off of turnovers probably came in the half court as well, but it's just 7 points struggling to generate offense.
Well, that's what I was saying. You asked me if I learned anything from the Denver series. I learned that against a tougher defensive opponent, OKC had a tough time scoring here in the postseason. So it's something that Minnesota can frustrate them. If they can just stop fouling and stop turning it over, you can really make some of this offense dry up. They've really gotten some easy baskets in transition.
Well, the Wolves lead by 3, and yes, they've survived those 6 fouls and 7 turnovers, but only for the moment. They have to change that. You can't continue to go down this road against this type of team and expect to still be leading. Aaron Wiggins is going to get into the game with Jalen Williams, Isaiah Hartenstein, Alex Caruso, and Cason Wallace. So no SGA. He goes the entire 12 minutes. He scored 9 points, had 2 assists. He was just 2 of 8 shooting. He got the bulk of his scoring done at the free throw line where he went 5 of 7. Thunder bring it up right to left. They've got Oklahoma City across the front of their chest, and Dante commits a foul just 8 seconds into the second quarter on Jalen Williams, who's just going east to west there. And Dante trying to get over the top of a screen, just way too physical. Caruso will trigger in. He and Hartenstein, the 2 big additions in the offseason for OKC. Here's Jalen Williams, left elbow jumper over Nikhil. That short rebound tapped around. Dante controls on the wing. Wolves still lead by 3. Conley up ahead to Julius Randle, who's back in the game. Mismatch against Aaron Wiggins. Caruso coming on the double. And now Julius splits it up top. It is Conley. His pass to the right side deflected, but Dante has it. Now to Julius against Caruso. 6 to shoot. Left-handed dribble in the paint. Rises up. Shot no, but contact is made. Julius Randle will earn a trip to the free throw line, where the Wolves are just 2 of 3 in this game.
Quick move by Julius Randle that time. We knew that Caruso would guard Julius in this series. The job that he did on Nikola Jokic, you just knew the physical presence that Julius has been, that Caruso would get that matchup. They use him down the stretch as well. And these are the minutes that Minnesota really needs to win, these non-SGA minutes, when they pair Jalen Williams, J-Dub with Hartenstein. They kind of keep those 2 together when SGA is off the floor, and then SGA is paired more with Chet. And so this is the minutes. These are the minutes that Minnesota really has to win.
Because when SGA plays in the regular season, when he's on the floor, the Thunder had a plus 17 net rating, meaning they outscore opponents by 17 points per 100 possessions. That's the highest mark in the NBA amongst guys who average 30 minutes a night. When he goes off, the Thunder's still good, but only a plus 5 compared to that plus 17.
Right.
1 out of 2 at the line for Randall.
He's out of bounds.
Wallace comes down with a offensive rebound, but he stepped on the end line. Tyler Ford with the call. James Capers, Tyler Ford, Mark Lindsay, 293 games of experience in the postseason for those 3 refs combined, 58 years as well. Randall with it up top to Mike. He moves quickly off a Rudy screen, who's got the 2 fouls. A runner by Mike, way too strong. think maybe he thought Rudy was going to come down the lane, but Rudy got boxed out. Thunder come back the other way. It's 24-20, Wolves by 4. Cason Wallace in the lane, looks at Rudy, kicks out. It's knocked away by Dante. He'll race in the front court. He'll corral it in the lane, drops it back. Rudy steps through, got stripped. Rudy will get it back to Dante, left side 3. Nope, missed it to the right, and the rebound to Jalen Williams. Here's Aaron Wiggins. And his pass got deflected out of bounds. Did I say Andrew Wiggins before? I don't know.
I think you did.
It's probably coming at some point.
It's really hard to not say that. Mike smoked a couple layups. Like he smoked one earlier, and that last one was really bad.
Inbound. Williams drops it back. Here's the push shot, the jump hook for Hartenstein, and drops it in. It's like a little shot put for Hartenstein. He's in that 6-foot range. He's really good with that shot. 24-22. Hartenstein, 11 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists per game in the regular season. He did miss a bunch with a left hand injury. Right wing 3 for Nikhil. No. Too long. Rebound, Hartenstein. Here's Jalen Williams. He brings it up. This is his time with SGA off the floor. He'll drive in, lob it to Hartenstein. That's easy pickings. And we're tied at 24. You were just mentioning that duo, Hartenstein and Williams. They connect on that play. Dante, wing right. Here's Nikhil off the Gobert screen. Top of the key. Back out to Dante. Off the Rudy screen. He'll pop on a triple. Misses that one long. The rebound saved by Caruso off the Jalen Williams. Here come the Thunder looking for the lead for the second time tonight. Aaron Wiggins, cross court, Hartenstein. Not a threat from deep, although he did take 19 attempts in the regular season. Missed them all. Jalen Williams spins in the lane, got tied up by Nikhil. The ball's loose, scooped up by Rudy Gobert. Tremendous defense by Nikhil and then Rudy. Here's Julius Randle, wing left. Spins out of trouble. Now Mike to the corner. Dante, catch and shoot. 3 in and out, no. And the rebound to Alex Caruso. Dante's 1 for 5 from distance. Jalen Williams back to Hartenstein. 9 to go, second quarter. Wiggins against Conley. Off the Hartenstein screen, turns the corner, runs up on Rudy. The shot off the heel, no, and the rebound collected by Julius Randle. Terrific defense by Rudy. That's what he does, forces misses. And Randle is fouled coming back up the floor. Not in the act of shooting, so sideline out of bounds for Minnesota.
I can't believe Minnesota has the lead right now because the game is tied, actually, but all the stuff that they've done, they've turned it over a bunch. All the points off turnovers that OKC has, 13 of them. They've fouled a ton here. And Mike Conley and Nikhil Alexander-Walker, along with Dante DiVincenzo, have 1 field goal between them.
Dante the drive. They move it around the horn. Up top, it's Randle. Catch and shoot 3 on the way. Got it. Julius Randle with his 3rd 3 of the first half. He is saving the Wolves right now. He's got himself 10 points here in the first half. Cason Wallace pressured by Mike Conley. Lost the ball, got it back. Now an illegal screen on Hartenstein. That picks off Mike Conley, who earns that. Boy, you've got to really sell it too. Not sell the contact, but you've got to sell the hustle to try to get around that screen. Yeah. And Mike does that routinely.
He certainly does, and it helps that he's smaller too, because when he hits that screen at the biggest setting, it looks more devastating than it actually is.
Wolves bench now 1 for 10 on their threes. Here's Julius Randle against Alex Caruso. Backs him out. Rejects the Rudy screen. Now he'll use it to his left. Comes back to his right. Caruso flops. Oh, they're going to fall for that. I just don't understand how officials just constantly just fall for guys just falling to the floor. Well, there's not enough contact there.
I got to tell you, though, when you move your feet like he does and he gets in the legal guarded position, it doesn't take much contact. You don't need to. He's doing a great job of defending. You got to tip your cap to him. It's good defensive technique.
Caruso had 8 charges drawn in the regular season. That ranked 21st in the league. Thunder had 3 other players above him. That's why they were number 1 in the league in charges drawn. Caruso, right side 3, and he buries it. So that's a big swing right there that ties the game back up. He gets a stop, forces a turnover at one end, and they cash in with 3 more points off of turnovers. 8 Minnesota miscues, 16 Thunder points. Nikhil misses a 3. The rebound tapped out. Randle, left angle 3. He drains it. Julius is keeping the Wolves in this game right now. 13 points. He's knocked down 4 or 5 from deep. 30-27. Jalen Williams right of the lane. Back to Hartenstein. The push shot from 12 feet. He hits that.
Yeah, that's a free throw almost for him.
I thought his 6-foot range was kind of his comfort zone. Nikhil got a poke free from behind. Jalen Williams could not save it. as known as J-Dub, the starter Jalen Williams, more of the scorer, smaller guy at 6'6", compared to the other Jalen Williams that comes off the bench, and they nicknamed him J-Will. Not easy having two Jalen Williamses on your roster. Here's Dante, a good drive, a kick out to Nikhil, sets himself, fires the three, and drops that one in. Wolves finally knock down a three from their bench. They're now 2 for 12 on threes from their reserves. The Wolves somehow lead this game 33-29. There's 7 to go in the first half on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
When it comes to watching the game, it's always nice to sit and savor a delicious snack. And Jack Link's protein snacks always hits the shot. Jack Link's beef jerky is made with 100% beef that's simply seasoned in hardwood smoke to deliver a mouth-watering, flavorful, good source of protein, convenient snack. Jack Link's, the official protein snack of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters brings you its most popular show of all time, Grease. You'll hear all your favorite hits from the Broadway musical and the movie. Join the whole gang at Rydell High. We'll sing, we'll dance, we'll bring you back to high school life in the 50s. Poodle skirts, bobby socks, the soda shop, and drive-in movies. Grease! It'll rock your socks off. Order your tickets today. Visit chanhassendt.com.
Hey, Wolves fans, listen up. Step up your shoe game this season with Trade Home Shoes, your Minnesota-based employee-owned retailer. Trade Home Shoes has on-trend footwear for the entire family. Brands like New Balance, Hoka, On, Birkenstock, Rival Shoes, and more. With over a century of experience in 130 locations nationwide, Trade Home Shoes is where generations meet comfort and style. Trade Home Shoes. Enjoy life. Feet first.
Looking for a next level way to bring your crew together? A Minnesota Lynx game is the perfect spot for your group. Whether it's a work outing, youth team night, birthday bash, or celebration, groups get discounted tickets, block seating, and a shout out on the big screen, plus access to exclusive fan experiences like high-fiving the team, watching warm-ups, or even playing on the Lynx court. Don't just watch the action, be part of it. Lock in your group now at lynxbasketball.com/groups and make memories that last way past the final buzzer.
7:01 left to go second quarter. Timberwolves lead the Thunder here in OKC 33-29. Timberwolves back in the Western Conference Finals. Mike Conley was asked after the Golden State win about Ant's determination. As he said last year, hey, they'd be back again this year. They are.
One, off the court, I think the way he's really taking care of himself, just his body. I think he would tell you he got to the Western Conference Finals last year and he was burning himself out a little bit. He was a little bit tired and running in the mud, and I think he's done a great job with his conditioning and just being able to handle what we expect from him on both ends of the floor on a nightly basis. His leadership, being vocal in practices, being vocal in the huddles and timeouts, and all that stuff. He's just taking more responsibilities and taking the reins a little bit more. And it just seems like Western Conference Finals, it's not enough. He wants to keep pushing it and wants to win a championship. So that mindset you can kind of feel throughout the playoffs.
The progression of Anthony Edwards and this Timberwolves team. 4 straight trips to the postseason, 2 straight to the Western Conference Finals. You get the sense that the next step obviously is NBA Finals and a title for Ant. And he won't be satisfied until he gets there. And then once he gets there, he's going to want to do it again.
Exactly right. You're never satisfied. That's what you want your superstar to be. Hungry.
SGA is back on the floor. Thunder were a -3 with him on the floor. They are a -1 with him off the floor.
Chet's out here too with him. They took Hartenstein and J-Dub off the floor.
There's Wiggins' baseline drive. He got a step on Rudy, who was out on the perimeter, beat him to the cup, and it's a 2-point game. 33-31. 8 Minnesota turnovers for 16 Thunder points, and yet the Wolves still lead by 2. Here's Randall. He's got 13 points here in the first half. Sets up Nikhil, right side 3. That is short. Rudy's battling for the rebound, and it's off Chet, out of bounds. Tremendous hustle by Rudy on that play, keeping it alive, and an extra opportunity at the offensive end.
I like that Nikhil is still staying locked and loaded. He's not hesitating at all to shoot the basketball. It's what he's got to do.
Wolves bench 2 of 13 from beyond the arc. The starters are 6 of 7 from beyond the arc. Dante, two-man game with Rudy. Now swings it out to Nikhil, who drives on Wiggins. Into the paint, stops, pivots. Now kick out. Randall open in the corner. Good pump fake. Fly by Dort. Baseline drive is met by Chet. The shot is offline. Blocked by Holmgren. And it would have counted had it gone because the shot clock expired. That's turnover number 9.
They may get to 14 and a half.
I was just about to say that. That's where you set the over-under at for turnovers. Shea shields off on his cousin, now fades on the mid-post jumper, and missed it. Gilgeous-Alexander, 2 of 9 shooting here in the first half. Wolves up by 2. They get it to Randall, wing right against Wiggins. Mid-post, again, fades away on the baseline turnaround. Jumper strokes it. 5 of 7 shooting for Julius Randle. Give him 15 first half points. No one else has more than 7. That would be Ant. SGA up the center of the floor off a Holmgren screen. Now lobs it inside. Chet couldn't hold it. He falls down. Rudy takes the ball, feeds Ant. Now the Wolves are on the move. Dante baseline drive, swings it over his shoulder. Here's Rudy, got airborne, had to flip it up over his head. It hit the underside of the rim. Here's Wiggins back the other way. He'll drift out to the right corner and set up the Thunder offense. Bounce pass, Wallace, wing left, up top, Lou Dort. Catch and shoot 3 on the way. He's going to be long off the back iron. Ooh, that rebound. Rudy stopped going for it. Now Chet's got it inside, challenges Rudy at the rim and comes up short. Rudy may have gotten a piece of it. Ant now cross court. Julius Randle, hash mark 3. Oh, nothing but net. Nylon for Randle. Monster first half continues up to 18 points. That's his 5th triple of the half. Here's Shea in the lane, scoops it up off glass. Soft touch, but it wouldn't drop. Rebound loose, scooped up by Randle. Timberwolves by 7. Dante looking to add to that. Right side 3, in and out, no. Rudy offensive rebound. Pivots, tied up. That should be a jump ball. It is, says James Capers. Boy, some frenetic play, but the Wolves still finding an edge. Up by 7 here with 4.5 to go in the first half.
If Julius Randle walks by me on the bench, I'm going to pull my hand back because he's got to be on fire right now, doesn't he? I mean, his hand's got to be smoking hot.
6 of 8 shooting, 5 of 6 from deep.
My goodness. He's been out there for a long time, but I don't know how you take him off the floor the way he's shooting the basketball.
It's a great point. 18 of the Wolves' 38 points have come courtesy of Julius Randle. Rudy and Chet will jump it up at the free throw line. Second time they will jump it up. And Rudy wins the tip, back tapping it to Ant, 10 to shoot. Kaysen Wallace is on him. Wallace has been really good in the postseason defensively. Ant spins away from him on the right side, runs into 2 other defenders, now steps through, off-balance leaner, too strong off the window. Rebound tapped out, Nikhil with it. He's got to rush the 3. It's off the back iron because the shot clock was about to expire. Hartenstein on the push, off to Dort, does not challenge Reed at the rim, kicks out to Wallace. Wallace into the paint, now to Chet, right side. Holmgren, left-handed dribble against Rudy, in the paint, stops, pivots, turns around, and the jumper is good. Chet Holmgren, his first field goal, his first points of the half. McDaniels probes against Chet, right wing. Drops it back out to Naz Reid. On the move, he'll drive in, shuffle it off to Rudy, who dunks it in for 2. What a setup by Naz. 40-33. I mean, calm, cool, and collected Naz Reid. I feel like in past years, Naz would have tried to do too much on that shot. Right side 3 is good for Kaysen Wallace. It was set up by SGA, who registers his 3rd assist. Wallace off the bench with his first triple of the night. 40-36, Timberwolves by 4. McDaniels to Naz. He'll just hoist on the 3. It's offline, and Hartenstein has the rebound. 3:20 left to go first half. SGA crosses the timeline, met by McDaniels, lost it out of bounds. It's going to be Timberwolves basketball. And a timeout has been called. So SGA is furious at that call by James Capers, but guess what? OKC does not have a challenge. This will be Wolves ball when we come back. 3:19 left to go in the half. Wolves by 4 in Game 1 on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Postseason dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Whoa, take it easy there. There's a better way to NBA. All playoffs long.
Wait, really?
With the NBA app, you get real-time stats and scores for every playoff matchup. Witness playoff drama as it unfolds.
Seriously?
Catch every bucket all in one place, all for free.
Where have you been all my life?
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Hey Timberwolves fans, ready to score big with Wolves gear without breaking the bank? Let me introduce you to Sezzle and the Pay in 4 program. With Sezzle, you can split your payments into 4 easy, interest-free installments on all your Wolves purchases. From jerseys and hoodies to courtside seats, Sezzle has got you covered. Wherever you shop, however you rep the Wolves. Download the Sezzle app and get started today. Sezzle, the official jersey patch sponsor of the Timberwolves. Subject to approval, see terms and conditions at Sezzle.com.
All right, Cal Soderquist with another scoreboard update. We are all set for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow night from the Garden. Knicks hosting the Pacers. These same two teams met up in the conference semifinals last year, with Indy advancing past New York, only to then fall short against the eventual defending champion, the eventual champion Boston Celtics. So the Pacers, like the Timberwolves, got to the doorstep last year, hoping to kick it down this year. There's all kinds of history between the Pacers and Knicks, including in the playoffs, and Pacer head coach Rick Carlisle knows that history and embraces it.
This is a great time of year. It's a great opportunity. It's a matchup that has history, and Madison Square Garden as an environment is one of the very best and most challenging in the league, and so that's a great challenge. It's a great privilege to be a part of it.
All right, Game 1 from the Garden tomorrow night tips off just after 7 o'clock. That series should be a lot of fun. We're nearly 24 minutes gone in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Let's get back to OKC, Alan Horton and Jim Peterson.
All right, Cal, thank you very much. 3:19 left to go in the first half. Wolves are still on top, 40-36, despite getting outscored 18-4 in the paint and 16-2 in points off of turnovers. Yeah. It's remarkable the Wolves still find themselves in front, and they have Julius Randle to thank in large part.
There's no doubt. Julius has been fearless here, and this has been the formula that Minnesota's had multiple times, especially you think about that LA and Golden State series, Alan, how it would be Julius Randle in the first half of games holding it down, then Ant would come through in the second half and have a monster second half.
Yeah. So still averaging in first halves 10 points, 37% shooting. Yeah. Second half 17 points, 51% shooting.
Right. I mean, it was at one time 7.5 to 20, basically.
It was much greater in that Golden State series, but if you throw in LA as well. Yeah, but it has generally been Julius big first halves, Ant big second halves, and I guess it doesn't matter how you get there at the end as long as you have more points than your opponent.
Minnesota's got to take care of the basketball, and they've got to be able to operate offensively here in a sensible way. Jaden McDaniels, it's basically the starting unit on the floor right now with Naz Reid instead of Julius.
Julius Randle's season high in made threes in the regular season was 5. He did that 6 times. He's got 5 threes in the first half tonight. Ant with a pull-up straightaway 3 out of the timeout. It circles out, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with the rebound. Here come the Thunder with exactly 3 minutes left to go if you're syncing up the radio broadcast with the TV video. Caruso now with it up top. Left side, Jalen Williams. Williams will back it out. It's Thunder offense, top 5 in the NBA. In fact, third best. They've got an 85 offensive rating right now. That's 85 points per 100 possessions. Shai under duress, fades left side. That's an air ball and a shot clock violation. Good news for the Wolves there because that rebound came awkwardly off the window, hit Naz in the hands and chest and went out of bounds. That would have been Thunder basketball.
And more good news for Minnesota, too. Julius Randle's back in the game for Minnesota, and Rudy Gobert's going to sit down.
2:39 to go in the first half. Here comes Chet. Will they allow him in? The answer is no. So the Wolves will bring it up with Conley and Edwards in the backcourt with McDaniels, Randle, and Reed up front. Now facing a zone for the first time tonight. 2-3 from OKC. Conley bounce pass, wing left. Here's Naz, guarded by Caruso. 10 to shoot. Conley takes the dribble, fires to Julius in the corner. He'll take a run, switches hands, runs up the shot. No, but he drew contact from Hartenstein, I believe, and then crashed into Caruso. Took the brunt of that. Well, that's the hard part. If you're drawing charges in this league, you might be set, but your teammates might foul that guy before he gets to you. You still take the charge.
Right. Well, you mentioned charges before, and this OKC Thunder team, they were first in the NBA by a large margin, too. I mean, it was 63 on the season for them to 51 in second place for the Lakers. Minnesota, by the way, was 19th with 23, and Mike took 7 of them. Mike led Minnesota in taking charges. Isaiah Joe, 17. Jay Will, the big Jay Will, 12. Kenrich Williams, 11. All their bench players, Caruso, 8. You mentioned that one.
Yep.
Lou Dort, J-Dub, they all are willing to step in there, which talks about their defensive cohesiveness.
Because they were second last year in that category, first the year before. So 2 of the last 3 years, they've been number 1 in the league in charges drawn. Julius adds to his total. He's got 20 here in the first half. Holmgren, baseline pass. Dortz, good cut, good finish. He strokes it through with 2 hands.
Minnesota
at the rim.
Yeah.
And 2 more paint points for Thunder.
Showed zone that time, too. Corner cutter that time. And Lou Dort came from that right corner.
Ant with it, dancing off the McDaniel screen. Pops on the right side, triple try, and hits it. Anthony Edwards from distance, his second 3 ball of the night. 45-38, back up by 7. Shea into the paint, bottled up, kick out. They move it, extra pass to the corner. It's Dort on the baseline, nearly traveled, finds a cutting Caruso. He threw it away. Julius Randle with a steal. 1:40 to go in the first half. The Wolves hunting for their largest lead of the game. They've led by as many as 8. They're currently up 7. Naz Reid, wing right, bangs away with Jalen Williams. Lost the ball. Williams comes away with it. Another turnover on the Timberwolves. That's their 10th of the first half. And Shea Gilgeous-Alexander couldn't cash in. He missed at the cup. And the Wolves come back the other way. They got numbers 5 on 3. Can they hunt the 3? Ant with it. Works on Dort. Into the paint. Against Caruso and draws the contact. Ant goes down there. And he'll go to the free throw line for 2, where he's 2 of 3 tonight.
I got to tell you, I just don't think the post-ups are a great idea, especially in certain matchups. If you're trying to post up Caruso or Williams, it's just not a good idea. It's like remember when people used to try to post up Chris Paul? And Chris Paul would always get the poke away like J-Dub did that last time.
Yeah.
It's just not a good percentage play. And so trying to back somebody down versus if you throw it into the post, split cut off of him, get some movement, see if you can get a pass out on that post up. But how many times is Minnesota turned it over in those situations, Alan?
A ton. 2 fouls on Caruso. He sits down for the final 1:14 of the quarter. Isaiah Joe back on the floor. 2 free throws by Edwards, both good. He's up to 12 points. He's hit 2 threes. He's got 4 points at the stripe. SGA left of the lane against McDaniel. Spins in the lane. Shot rejected by Jaden. Oh, he swatted it away into the corner. SGA, 2 of 13 shooting here in the first half. Here's Mike Conley, left side 3 that comes up short. Rebound to Isaiah Joe. 50 seconds left to go in the first half. What a block by Jaden, and then he jumps around the Holmgren screen, crashes into Shea, who goes down very easily. But this was clearly a foul on McDaniels, and that's going to be his second. 2 on Jaden, 2 on Julius, 2 on Rudy, 1 each against Ant, Mike, and Naz.
And Minnesota switches the matchup now. Because Jaden has 2, they put Ant on SGA.
SGA shot 63% when Ant was the primary defender in the regular season. Actually, that's over the last 2 regular seasons. SGA got knocked down off the inbound, and now Ant hand-checked him for no reason. He gave him the LeBron shove with 2 hands, and he's daring Mark Lindsay to make the call, and he did. That's free throws now for SGA.
He's trying to send a message to SGA to stop flopping. So SGA just fell down that time as he was popping to catch, and that just made Ant angry. So, I mean, he just totally flops on Ant's pressure defense, and Ant says, get up. Mark Lindsay is having a conversation with Anthony Edwards now. It's a heated conversation, too.
First free throw is good for SGA. He's 6 of 8 at the free throw line. He's 2 of 13 from the field. And the highlight was the block by Jaden McDaniels at the rim a couple of possessions ago. Hartenstein and SGA both with 10. Now SGA with 11. And it's 47-40. The Timberwolves lead by 7. 45 seconds to go here in the first half.
2 for 1.
How about 2 scores and a stop?
Yeah.
Mike up the center of the floor, guarded by SGA. Here's Ant on the move, turns the corner. Down the lane, he went up for the dunk. He got met there by Dort. Didn't let him get that shot off. But Ant, 2 free throws coming up. That would have brought down the basket stanchion.
You got to remember that play right here, this out-of-bounds play when Shea tried to draw the foul on Ant by flopping like that, and Ant got so angry at him because you saw the way he curled off that play.
There was some purpose.
There was some purpose there from Anthony Edwards, and those are the kind of things that make him angry for the rest of the series. I mean, he's going to remember that. So,
absolutely. Yeah, there was a different amount of purpose to what Anthony Edwards did at that offensive end.
That's right.
I mean, it's a hard curl. And look at this. Oh, he was going to throw that thing down. Dort got him right across the bicep. Ant missed the free throw. He goes 1 out of 2 at the stripe. Rebound into the corner, and the Thunder control. And now the shot clock needs to go to 21 instead of 23. Well, that's important for the Wolves because they want the ball back, and that would give them 2 extra seconds to work with. Jalen Williams will trigger in. SGA's got it. He'll let it roll a little bit. Clocks don't move. Now he picks it up on the run against Jaden. To the free throw line. Dumps it inside. Williams with it. Pump fakes. Rises and hits with the left hand. 48-42. It's a 6-point game. Here's Mike weaving his way up the floor. Shot clock goes dark. Thunder do not have a foul to give. Ant with the ball in his hands. He's got 13 points in this first half. Randall calls for it. He's got 20. Against Case and Wallace. Now the double comes. He turned his back. Jalen Williams with the steal. He'll take a run on Ant all the way to the cup. Missed the layup. Tip followed. No, but a whistle and a foul on the putback attempt. Isaiah Joe will get helped up off the floor. He'll go to the free throw line for 2. (48-42). The turnovers just coming fast and furious. Wolves had 7 in the opening quarter, 4 more in the second. You just can't turn your back. You've mentioned this multiple times. Even I have gotten it through my thick skull not to try to go one-on-one. Don't turn my back and don't go to a spin move. I'm listening.
You got to stay squared up, and you got to be able to see all the defenders that are in your peripheral vision. If you turn your back and look one direction, someone's going to come take it from you. That's exactly what happened on that possession.
Number 1 in steals, number 1 in forcing turnovers, number 1 in turning them into points. 2 free throws good for Isaiah Joe. Wolves have now turned it over 11 times for 17, 18 now points off of turnovers. Desperation heave from three-quarter court is no good from Anthony Edwards. At the half, the Timberwolves are up by 4, 48-44. Halftime here in Game 1. Cal Soderquist has your halftime coverage next all across the Minnesota Timberwolves Radio Network.
Incubus, live. Performing the album Morning View in its entirety, plus the hits. Saturday, July 5th, the Treasure Island Amphitheater. With special guest, Manchester Orchestra. On sale now at TICasino.com. Don't miss Incubus performing Morning View in its entirety, plus the hits.
Rosie here, plugging you into safety, service, and innovation. Edison Electric has been serving the Minneapolis and St. Paul area since 2007 and specializes in residential service, meaning they help you with all your home's electrical needs. From troubleshooting to panel replacements, they leave your home safer than when they arrived and provide 5-star service every time. Go to calledison.com for upfront pricing on all the residential electrical services in Minneapolis. That's calledison.com.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters brings you its most popular show of all time, Grease. You'll hear all your favorite hits from the Broadway musical and the movie. Join the whole gang at Rydell High. We'll sing, we'll dance, we'll bring you back to high school life in the 50s. Poodle skirts, bobby socks, the soda shop, and drive-in movies. Grease! It'll rock your socks off. Order your tickets today. Visit chanhassendt.com.
Here in the first half.
Yeah, Jaden McDaniels in that Timberwolves defense helping keep SGA at bay other than at the free throw line. The likely NBA MVP has connected on 7 of 9 from the stripe, and that's a big reason why he is into double figures, leading the way for the Thunder with 11, and a big reason why OKC is still within striking distance. Timberwolves have a 4-point advantage as we have reached the halftime intermission. It's 48-44, 24 minutes gone in Game 1 of this Western Conference Finals. Welcome inside the halftime show. Cal Soderquist from our NBA Tonight studios. In just a moment, we'll get into a few more of those first half highlights. We'll go deeper into the box score as the Timberwolves struggled with turnovers. So that is putting it kindly. 11 miscues in the first half. Thunder created an 18-4 edge on points off of turnovers. That helped them overcome the fact that they got outscored by 21 from the three-point line. OKC also with an edge in the paint, 22-4. So Minnesota overall likely feeling fortunate to have this 4-point lead, but if they can take care of the basketball better in the upcoming second half, they are in good shape. It's Julius Randle leading the way for the Wolves with 20 points. Where would they be without his production offensively? 6 of 8 from the field, 5 of 6 from distance in that first half. The rest of his teammates combined to shoot 5 of 22 from the three-point line. Then we'll get you set for third quarter action as Alan chats with assistant coach Pablo Prigioni just before that third frame. Let's get into the highlights. Back in the conference finals for the second straight season, and this time the Timberwolves set for a clash with the league's likely MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and an OKC Thunder team that piled up a league-best 68 wins in the regular season. So on the road for this game one, we did see the Timberwolves get off to a dream start in the opening 90 seconds, jumping out to an early 8-0 lead, but Oklahoma City climbing right back into the contest thanks to Minnesota miscues.
So smaller lineup on the floor for OKC.
Ant with it up top, two-man game. Jaden sets the screen. Ant uses that to the left elbow. Back out to Jaden, who crosses over. Lost it. Scooped up by Jalen Williams. He's on the run. Nobody's going to stop him. To the rim. He'll jam it for 2. And the Timberwolves find themselves trailing for the first time in this Western Conference Finals, 17-16.
Yeah, they kept the Thunder at arm's length for much of that first frame, but 7 first-quarter turnovers turned into 13 Thunder points. They had a 13-2 edge in the opening 12 minutes. That helped the Thunder climb right back into the contest despite shooting just 35% from the field, just 1 of 5 from deep. Wolves jumped back in front. They had a 3-point lead after one, 23-20. Then the Wolves offense went a little cold. 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 4 from deep to start the second quarter, and Oklahoma City once again took advantage.
Caruso had 8 charges drawn in the regular season. That ranked 21st in the league. Thunder had 3 other players above him. That's why they were number 1 in the league in charges drawn. Caruso, right side 3, and he buries it. So that's a big swing right there that ties the game back up. He gets a stop, forces a turnover at one end, and they cash in with 3 more points off of turnovers. 8 Minnesota miscues, 16 Thunder points. Nikhil misses a 3. The rebound tapped out. Randle, left angle 3. He drains it. Julius is keeping the Wolves in this game right now. 13 points. He's knocked down 4 of 5 from deep.
Yeah, this 4-point halftime lead for the Timberwolves would likely be a multi-possession deficit, if not for timely buckets all throughout the first half from Julius Randle, like that one you just heard there. He's got 20 on 6 of 8 shooting, pulled down 3 rebounds, had an assist as well in his 17 minutes, and he's leading the way for the Timberwolves. His 20 lead all scores, and his 20 first half points, good enough to make him the hot player of the half, brought to you as always by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930. Visit them online at standardheating.com. What a week it's been here in the Twin Cities, where some folks fired up their air conditioning a little more than a week ago and likely now have the heat on with these cold and rainy temps. But Julius Randle, red hot, making it rain in the first half, knocked down 5 triples in those first 2 quarters. And Minnesota able to balloon that lead as large as 9 late in the second quarter, but the Thunder rally back to within 4. They score the final 4 points of the half, a J-Dub, Jalen Williams layup off another Timberwolves turnover, and then 2 Thunder free throws as well to cut the deficit down to 4. It's 48-44 Timberwolves up by 4 at the intermission. We'll take a pause. We'll come back and get you set for third quarter action from OKC in this Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals here on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Hey Wolves fans, it's Rosie from Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, your home comfort MVPs since 1930. Just like the Timberwolves bring the heat on the court, we keep your home in perfect condition all year long. We're proud to sponsor the Timberwolves this season. Let's go Wolves! Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Call or visit standardheating.com since 1930.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with a new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today. Based on calendar year total sales.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
You're listening to the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Still at the halftime break at the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Timberwolves with a 48-44 advantage thanks largely to the first half heroics from Julius Randle, 20 points on 6 of 8 shooting, 5 of 6 from long range. Timberwolves did outscore the Thunder by 21 from the three-point line, but got outscored 22-4 in the paint, outscored 18-4 in terms of points off of turnovers. And, well, that's a big reason why the Thunder are still very much within striking distance. Their leading scorer, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 11 points, 4 assists, but did it on just 2 of 13 shooting. He went to the free throw line 9 times in that first half, connecting on 7 of them. So at the intermission, Timberwolves clinging to that 4-point lead in this game 1. We'll get you back to Oklahoma City shortly, but let's first pause 10 quick seconds and allow our stations across the network to identify themselves. You're listening to Timberwolves basketball. Timberwolves up 4 at the intermission right now. Julius Randle pacing the way with 20 points. Anthony Edwards has 13 on 3 of 7 shooting. He's the only other player in double figures and briefly dealt with what looked like a tweak of the ankle, but was back out there in his regular rotational minutes, seemingly no worse for the wear. Hey, fans, buckle up for an unforgettable night when Rick Springfield brings the I Want My 80s tour to Treasure Island Resort and Casino. Relive the 80s with Jesse's Girl, Don't Talk to Strangers, and other Springfield classics, as well as hits from special guests John Waite, Wang Chung, and Paul Young. Come ready to rock when this all-star lineup hits the Island Amphitheater on Thursday, June 19th. Get tickets at ticasino.com. Wolves up 4. We'll take one final pause. We'll rejoin Alan Horton and Jim Peterson after this on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Hello, this is Jan at Toyota.
Hi, Jan. Is now a good time to get a new Toyota?
It is. We like to say your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer. Now through June 2nd, we have a great selection of Camrys, Corollas, Tundras, and more.
Right, your summer starts here.
I'm a pet sitter, and business is way up as people enjoy their new Toyotas.
Stop, Sebastian. Goldie is not dinner. Right, your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Toyota, let's go places.
At Target, we're home court advantage for the hometown sports fans. And with the Timberwolves season in full gear, we're here to help you gear up and make your game day prep a slam dunk. Hear that? That's what you call a buzzer-beating three-pointer for the win. Time to dish up your famous nachos or put a full-court press on some jalapeno poppers. Then serve up some sweet desserts to celebrate the W. However you do game day, we're here for it at Target and Target.com.
As a business owner, do you have a game plan in place to stay focused on safety and preventing claims? Let our team help support your business. Federated Insurance offers a customizable lineup of industry-specific coverages and risk management services to help you continue your winning streak. At Federated Mutual Insurance Company, it's our business to protect yours. Rated A+ Superior by AM Best Company.
You're listening to the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Paycom Center here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Game 1 of the West Finals. Wolves and Thunder. Timberwolves up 48-40 despite Jim Peterson trailing 18-4 in points off of turnovers, trailing 22-4 in points in the paint, trailing 6-0 in fast break points.
Yeah.
And the Wolves only shot 34.9% in that first half, yet they still lead.
And they should have a bigger lead. You know, the free throwing at the end, the mistakes they made that kind of let this OKC Thunder team sneak closer. The points in the paint, though, is really staggering.
48-44, Wolves lead by 4. Pablo Prigioni, assistant coach, is along with us courtside here. What did Chris Finch say about the turnovers in the first half, Pablo?
Well, I mean, it was a big topic, pregame. I think just the guys need to go through that. It's easy to say sometimes, but the way that's what they're number one in creating turnovers and deflections. So I think we need a little time to adjust to that. Hopefully, this second half we do a better job taking care of the ball.
Jim has been talking in the first half about not backing guys down and people coming from the blind side. It seemed like that happened time and time again.
Huge point. That's what they do. They sit heavy in the gap. They're very active with the hands, long arms. So you can't do that because as soon as you just turn your head, they're coming. So I hope we learn from these 2 quarters and do a better job with that.
Pablo, Al and I were talking about in the first half is kind of questioning, is the pace of play in Minnesota's favor? You guys want to play fast, right? Playing fast is good for this team.
For sure. And I think the other thing we had to do a better job is to finish those transition opportunities we had. We got 3 or 4 times that we run and we couldn't finish. So we got to do a better job there and just impose our pace.
How good was Julius Randle in that first half?
He's shooting great, but that's just a little bit of balance. I think we missed 5 or 6 wide open shots, the other guys, and he made a couple tough ones, So that, I think, balanced the equation.
Pablo, appreciate the visit. Good luck second half.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Pablo Prigioni gives us the latest from the Timberwolves locker room at the half. Timberwolves surviving despite losing the points off a turnover battle, the points in the paint, the fast break points, the field goal percentage. They had a 10-3 advantage in threes. That makes up for a lot, and that's the only reason the Wolves have a 4-point lead.
Yeah.
10 made threes, 5 of them courtesy of Julius Randle.
I think that you and I talked a ton in the last series about how important winning all the miscellaneous points battles were, and it's what Minnesota's done in both series in the playoffs so far. This is going to be a challenge for them, and winning ugly. I mean, there's no shame in doing that sometimes, but you'd like to play your best basketball, and they still have not played their best basketball yet in these playoffs.
The possession battle, just about even. The Wolves have taken 3 more shots, but the Thunder have gotten to the free throw line 4 more times. And we've talked about how the Wolves have turned it over 11 times. Well, OKC didn't help their cause. They had 9 turnovers, so that's only +2 in favor of Oklahoma City. And the Wolves had a 7-5 edge in offensive rebounds. So that basically has made it an even possession game through 24 minutes. Thunder get it to begin the third. Wolves will get it to start the fourth. Here's Jalen Williams with it up top off the Hartenstein screen. Switched on to Rudy. He tacks him into the paint. Now steps back. 16-footer straight away off front rim. No. Hartenstein taps the rebound out to Lou Dort. Now Williams works against Conley in the lane, throws it up on an alley-oop, but it comes off the window, tapped around, finally controlled by Mike Conley. Here are the Wolves on the push. Here's Ant, big third quarters. Oh, that one was halfway down. It popped out, a left-angle triple try. Rudy crashes the glass and draws a foul. It'll be sideline out of bounds here. I don't think Tyler Ford is going to send him to the free throw line, but the Wolves maintain the possession, still up by 4.
Rudy really never had possession of the basketball because Lou Dort grabbed his arm that time and didn't let him catch it.
Wolves' offensive rating in that first half was a 96. Not great, but OKC's was an 86. Ant passed on a 3 up top off the Jaden, right back to Ant. He turns it over and then crushes SGA. Fell on him by accident. That's going to be number 3 on Anthony Edwards. And it kind of goes back to the end of the second quarter, Jim, when he committed that just sort of hand check on just tossing SGA right in the chest. Needless, and now he's got 3.
Yeah, exactly. Got to keep your composure. Again, anytime you make a reversal pass, you better be careful of who's lurking for OKC.
SGA, pocket pass to Hartenstein down the lane. Tried to kick out to Chet Holmgren, but it's stolen. Another turnover on the Thunder. That's their 10th. Wolves get it right back, up by 4, right to left across your radio. Edwards steps through in the lane, out to McDaniels, in the corner, lines up the 3 ball. It's offline. Rebound kept alive by Rudy, but controlled by Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA in that first half, 11 points on 2 of 13 shooting. Off the Hartenstein screen, he attacks with a right-handed dribble. He's got Ant in jail on his hip. Now against Rudy, pivots in the mid-post. Looking to get rid of it out to Jalen Williams. Catch and shoot three on the way. That's good. Just the fourth three of the game for the Thunder. It brings them to within one with 10:30 left to go in the third. Thunder now 4 of 9 on their threes. Pretty good efficiency, 44%, but very low volume. Thunder were in the top 10 in three-point volume in the regular season and in percentage. Mike misses a left side three. Thunder have the rebound. They're hunting for the lead. We've had 3 ties, 2 lead changes. Jalen Williams pull up left elbow jumper. No, missed it badly, and Jaden McDaniels has the rebound.
The one thing you have to concern yourself with if you're Minnesota, too, is to not let them reject screens, too, like J. Will did that time, or J-Dub, I should say.
Ant dancing off the Rudy screen. Back to Rudy on the roll. He'll drive, and his kick-out pass to the corner is stolen by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Another Wolves turnover. That's their 13th of the game. Shai to the elbow. Underneath, here's Chet Holmgren. Turnaround jump hook is good over Julius Randle. And the Thunder have the lead, 49-48. 9:30 left to go in the third, and the crowd starts to get involved. Thunder have had the lead twice. Mike with a runner down the lane silences the OKC Thunder fans, all in white. They've got a pretty good ratio of attendees with white shirts on. Not a lot of people rejecting the free shirt. They're very dutiful. How'd you phrase it earlier? That the
compliant
crowd.
Yeah, they are definitely compliant. They shame them at the beginning of the game, and then everybody just puts them on. They don't want to be shamed.
Holmgren draws a foul in the lane. It's going to go against Jaden McDaniels, and all of a sudden, that's his third. So McDaniels has 3. Rudy's got 3. Julius Randle has 3 fouls. Rudy's got 2, and Anthony Edwards has 3. Free throw is good for Chet Holmgren.
Well, you're wondering how we get to Terrence Shannon Jr. and to Jalen Clark. That's how you get to it. You get to them by foul trouble by the others.
Already 2 fouls against the Timberwolves as a team here in the quarter with 9:13 to go. Holmgren's second free throw, just like the first, is good. And the Thunder back in front by 1. It's the third 1-point lead they've had in this game. Wolves bring it up with their starting 5 out there. Conley, Edwards, McDaniels, Randle, and Gobert. To the corner of McDaniels. He'll dribble to the elbow on the pull-up jumper. Drops in for 2. Very efficient night for Jaden. He's 3 of 4 shooting. 1 of 2 from distance. 52-51. The Wolves go back up by a single point. SGA against McDaniels. Beyond the three-point line. Jaden standing top of the key. SGA left of the lane. Falls away on the jumper. He got it. Oh, they're going to call a foul on Jaden McDaniels. That's his 4th. They kind of got tangled up on that move by Gilgeous-Alex did of McDaniels and SGA. And then when SGA stepped back, let's take a look at the replay here and see what happens. I mean, the contact by Shai causes Jaden to stick the foot out. And Jaden's going to sit down. The Wolves will not challenge this. Nickeil Alexander-Walker comes into the game. So it's the initial contact by SGA which causes Jaden to go backwards, and he's got to kick his foot out to just kind of maintain his balance, and that hit SGA during the shot.
And that's why Chris Finch, talks about the fact that you can't touch Shai and that they get away with a lot of physical contact. And it's just all in one fell swoop. That time you can see it right there. Crazy.
Free throw good for Gilgeous-Alexander. He's got 12 points to go along with 6 assists. 54-52 after the three-point play by SGA. Randle with it. He bangs with Dort, top of the key. Out to Conley, wing right. Mike on the attack with left-handed dribble and a reach-in foul on SGA. I think that's the most emotion I've ever seen out of SGA. Called for that foul. He didn't like it. Mike will be at the free throw line for 2. He's 10 of 11 at the free throw line here in the postseason.
It's his first foul of the game.
How dare you call even 1? I mean, he draws about 15 a game. Conley at the free throw line with the Wolves down by 2 here. Anthony Edwards will come back into the backcourt and talk with his head coach, Chris Finch. Chris Finch has more postseason wins than any coach in franchise history. He's now 20-17 in postseason games. He has more postseason series wins than any coach in franchise history. He's got 4. Flip Saunders has 2. Tom Thibodeau still looking for his first.
Yeah.
And likely won't get another opportunity with the Wolves. Never say never.
He's doing a heck of a job with the Knicks, though, isn't he?
It's been pretty incredible. Speaking of the Knicks, you have 3 former Knickerbockers that were on the Knicks playoff run 2 seasons ago, because Julius missed last season, but Dante, Julius, and Isaiah Hartenstein were all teammates. Isaiah Hartenstein on cue, floater just inside the free throw line, knocks that one down. That's 12 for the big man.
And 6 of 7 shooting, too. Very efficient night for him.
56-54, Ant right side to Randall. Baseball pass back to Ant up top against Lou Dort. Setting him up off the Rudy screen. He's going to pop on a straightaway 3 and hit it. Third 3 of the night for Anthony Edwards. 3 of 6 from deep. He's up to 16 points. Timberwolves 11 of 32 from deep. 34%, but the volume has been excellent. 11-4 edge and made threes. Gilgeous-Alexander off a screen. Pops on a 3. No good. Anthony Edwards taps the rebound to himself. Wolves bring it up, leading by 1. Off the Rudy screen, snaking his way top of the key. Now back beyond the three-point line. Works again in the paint, hangs and kicks out. Here's Conley, catch and shoot 3 on the way. He hits! Anthony Edwards the dime, Mike Conley the triple. The Wolves quickly lead by 4 with 7:22 left to go in the third. The 12th 3 of the night. This one courtesy of Mike Conley, his first in 3 tries. Timeout on the floor, 7:22 left to go third quarter of Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Wolves 60. Thunder 56 on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Hey Timberwolves fans, ready to score big with Wolves gear without breaking the bank? Let me introduce you to Sezzle and the Pay in 4 program. With Sezzle, you can split your payments into 4 easy, interest-free installments on all your Wolves purchases. From jerseys and hoodies to courtside seats, Sezzle has got you covered. Wherever you shop, however you rep the Wolves. Download the Sezzle app and get started today. Sezzle, the official jersey patch sponsor of the Timberwolves. Subject to approval, see terms and conditions at Sezzle.com.
Rosie here, plugging you into safety, service, and innovation. Edison Electric has been serving the Minneapolis and St. Paul area since 2007 and specializes in residential service, meaning they help you with all your home's electrical needs. From troubleshooting to panel replacements, they leave your home safer than when they arrived and provide 5-star service every time. Go to calledison.com for upfront pricing on all the residential electrical services in Minneapolis. That's calledison.com.
Your Minnesota Lynx just fought their way to the finals. Now they're back, stronger and hungrier, and chasing ring number 5. Don't just watch it happen, be there for it. A flex plan lets you pick any 5 games and unlocks access to Minnesota's only home game against the Fever. Plus, you'll get awesome seats for each game in your plan and pre-sale access to playoff tickets. And with MVP Nafisa Collier leading the way, every game is a can't miss. Get your flex plan now at lynxbasketball.com/flex.
Yeah. Hey, look, a W is a W. And thanks to our FVP batteries in the lineup, we're playing up to our potential. I mean, you saw it out there today. What I'm loving about this FPP battery right now is the consistency. Day in, day out. I mean, no drama. Great work ethic with tremendous upside. I said this before. You gotta be a self-starter in this league. That's why FPP is my MVP. Automotive batteries from FVPparts.com. You gotta reach for what works.
Next question.
Wolves by 4 on the strength of 12 made threes tonight. 8 of those have come courtesy of Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards. Wolves in the Western Conference Finals for the 2nd straight year, but their work isn't done, says Rudy Gobert.
Our goal is not to win 8 playoff games. We're halfway there. Our goal is to win a championship, and it's we're going to face the best of the best. So it's going to be about our mental toughness, our resilience, our attention to details, and our willingness to keep doing the little things over and over and over, regardless of whichever adversity comes our way.
Rudy Gobert's 2nd straight year in the Western Conference Finals. They never got there with the Utah Jazz. Mike Conley got to 1 with Memphis, but they got swept by San Antonio. And yet this stage in his career, I go back to that soundbite from Julius Randle, how you have to You have to embrace it and cherish it when you get there, because you don't get there very often.
It's certainly a true statement, and I love the perspective. The soundbite that Julius gave you in your interview with him was fantastic. That's what happens when you become a veteran player. You know that these times are precious, and you got to really cherish them when they come.
Julius recognized that. I've talked to him before every game won, and we've now had this thing now 3 series in a row, so we are keeping to the tradition. Jalen Williams out of the timeout, works on Nikhil into the paint, shoves off, fades on the 14-footer and hits it. Not enough to call an offensive foul, but less than marginal apparently, 60-58. Jalen Williams has been relatively quiet in this game tonight. 11 points on 4 of 12 shooting. Gilgeous-Alexander, 14 points on 3 of 15 shooting. Here's Mike with the Wolves up by 2. A touch for Rudy, right back to Conley. Squirts his way between 2 defenders. Out to Julius, left angle, 5 to shoot. Going to work on Dort at the elbow. Gets 1 foot in the paint, now swings into the corner. Mike's got a fire at the buzzer. In and out, no. Rudy with a tip follow, that wouldn't drop. Rebound tapped out. Julius has it, back to Mike. He'll fire again from the corner and miss it. Jalen Williams the rebound for OKC. Here's SGA up the center of the floor. Angles left off an illegal Dort screen. And Lou Dort commits his 4th foul of the game. He's got 4. Hartenstein has 3. Only 2 Thunder players in difficulty, and Kaysen Wallace, who has the #1 defensive rating in the postseason. When he's on the floor, the Thunder have a 92 defensive rating.
Would you be surprised if I told you that Minnesota only has 1 more personal foul than the OKC Thunder?
I'd be shocked.
It's 15-14 in
That's
total
amazing.
number.
That's amazing. It does not feel like it. And really, the turnovers, as plentiful as they've been for the Wolves, the Thunder have 11.
That's right.
So both those categories not as bad as it feels like. Here's Rudy on a drive. He draws plenty of contact. Who will this go against? If it's Hartenstein, that's his 4th.
Could be against J-Dub as well.
And they will give it to Williams. And it'll be Rudy's first trip to the free throw line here tonight. Timberwolves basketball in Game 1, brought to you in part by Travel South Dakota. It's time to put routine at the end of the bench, because you deserve to disconnect from the ordinary and connect to the ones who matter most. Discover endless reasons to pack your bags at TravelSouthDakota.com.
It's funny. They changed the foul call because it.
Well, they gave it to Hartenstein.
They gave it to Hartenstein.
First free throw rolls off to the left, and Rudy will get 1 more.
The striking thing about the points off turnovers, it's 20-4 in OKC's favor. They've scored 20 points off of 13 turnovers. Minnesota only has 4 points off of 11 turnovers. That is a terrible ratio. And that's what Pablo talked about at halftime too, right? Was converting in transition. Minnesota would get a steal, but they wouldn't score it.
Thunder off the second free throw go into that Miami set where they push 2 players all the way forward into the corners. Rudy misses both free throws. It's still a 2-point Wolves lead. Jalen Williams cross court. Kenrich Williams in for Hartenstein, who's out with the 4 fouls. Isaiah Joe into the paint, stops against Ant, now kicks it back out to midcourt. 10 to shoot, Jalen Williams with it, with SGA out there with him. Williams on the move in the lane, floats it up and hits it over Rudy, who got up to block the shot and I think then thought twice about it. It would have been a goaltend, so he let it fall, and it dropped in for 2. We're tied. Dante into the game. Pops on a left side 3 and misses it off the iron. Kenrich Williams the rebound. And here comes SGA on the move. 5.5 to go, 3rd quarter. SGA works against Nikhil. His cousin in the paint, rises, jumper good from the free throw line. Timeout, Chris Finch here. I'm not sure he liked that last possession as Dante, that was a 0-pass possession, dribbled into a left side 3 that was deep. 5.5 left to go, 3rd quarter. Thunder lead by 2. We step aside in Game 1 on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
2 bands, 1 night. Bachman Turner Overdrive. The Marshall Tucker Band. Roll on down the Highway 2025 tour. Saturday, July 19th, live at the Treasure Island Amphitheater with special guest Jefferson Starship. A night of vintage PTO. A night of classic Marshall Tucker Band. Tickets on sale now at TICasino.com.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the NBA Finals.
In the NBA Finals, any moment can become unforgettable. Now is your chance to watch the next moment you'll remember forever.
Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Unforgettable awaits. The 2025 NBA Finals presented by YouTube TV begin June 5th on ABC.
And another scoreboard update, courtesy of your local Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com today. Let's go places with this Western Conference Finals Game 1 unfolding tonight. We're into the second half as we speak. Tomorrow night, it'll be Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. We'll be at Madison Square Garden in New York City as the Knicks will play host to the Pacers. These same two teams met up in the second round of last year's playoffs. Indy ultimately advancing in 7 despite trailing 3-2 in the series, and it's a Pacers team that once again this year has leaned on their depth. 6 different players averaging 10 or more in this postseason. Tyrese Halliburton averaging 17 points, nearly 10 assists, and 5 rebounds, and he says they'll continue to lean on that depth in this conference finals.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep being who we are, keep leaning into our depth. I think the biggest part here is, obviously, we feel like we have the best bench in the NBA, so when it's second group, we're very confident in what our group can do, If they're keeping their guys on the floor, keep playing the way we do, and then when our first group gets back in there, keep it going. So, yeah, I think it's definitely a contrast of styles. They play a slower, more methodical way, a lot through JB. We move the ball more, play a lot more guys. So it's definitely a different styles here, but I think that's what makes our game beautiful.
And a contrast in styles in the sense that Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau will sometimes stick to a 6 or 7 man rotation. So again, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow night at MSG just after 7 o'clock. Let's get you back to Paycom Center. Alan Horton and Jim Peterson.
All right, Cal, thank you very much. Thunder on a 6-0 run here. They've made 6 of their last 7 shots overall. They lead by 2, 62-60. How about a fun fact, Jim Peterson? This Western Conference Finals matchup between the Wolves and Thunder, it's the first time in 29 years that no team from California or Texas is involved in the West Finals. We keep track of a lot of things. I am not keeping track of where teams are from and how often it matches up, but it's absolutely true because of the run for the San Antonio Spurs, the Lakers, Golden State. They've been eating it all up. It's always California and Texas.
Yeah, man, chalk one up for Middle America, baby.
That's right. I mean, they do equate to 7 of the 15 teams in the West are either from California or Texas. Well, the Wolves and Thunder getting the Western Conference Finals. The Wolves getting there for the 3rd time in franchise history. Thunder first time since 2016. Out of the timeout, Thunder with it. The crowd into it. Julius fades on a mid-post jumper. Missed it. Came up short. Isaiah Joe's got the rebound. Here come the Thunder on the move. Up into the front court from left to right in the white association jerseys. They've got orange and blue trim. Shea splits through defenders. Down the lane. Scoop with the left hand. It rolls off. He gets his own offensive rebound and puts it back up and in.
Key for this Timberwolves team has been keeping this fan base out of the game. They are engaged now.
8-0 Thunder run. They lead by 4. It is their largest lead of the game. Nas posting up. Left side, poking in is Williams. Nas tries to spin off of it. Runs right into Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who rips the ball away. Here's Jalen Williams into the paint to the corner, Cason Wallace. Wallace on the attack. Going the wrong direction. Kicks out to Jalen Williams, who drives down the lane. Double clutches. Throws it up off the window for 2 more. And another timeout for Chris Finch. 4:19 left to go in the third. 66-60. 10-0, the OKC run. It comes after the Wolves went 6-0 to take a 4-point lead. And now the Thunder have answered back. They've now made 8 of their last 10 shots from the field. And the one thing the Wolves have done a good job of, you mentioned, keeping this crowd at bay. Well, they're up out of their seats now.
Looked like Dante may have sprained his ankle on that one miss by SGA. Wouldn't have to go rebound the basketball. Couldn't quite corral it. SGA gets it, lays it back in, then gets another layup after that. But it looks like they haven't learned any lessons, Alan, because Nas Reed that time tried to back down J-Dub. And you see when Jalen Williams is post-defending, every time Nas is putting it on the floor trying to get someplace, first of all, he doesn't go anywhere because they're so strong. And second of all, he's poking away. And then when Nas is trying to force his will upon him and spinning to the middle of the paint, That's twice now he's done that and gotten off balance when he's spun and gone to the floor and turned it over. So
it's almost like they want you to spin. Like I'm reaching around trying to poke. Hey, go for the spin. You're going to run right into a help defender. And that's exactly what happened to Nas there.
Exactly. That's twice now. It's happened to him, and it's happened to Julius a couple times too. So, I mean, they really haven't learned much here. And Nas is trying to be strong, but like there is strong and then there's also smart.
Out of the timeout, Wolves bring it up right to left. 10-0 OKC run. The crowd is into it. Ant has it up top. Cason Wallace on him. High post to Julius Randle. Bangs with Kenrich Williams. Holds. Still holding. Top of the key. Shot clock down to 8. Julius still has it. Now he takes a dribble. Drives into the paint to the corner. Nas, he'll hoist on the 3. It's off iron. No. Oh, the Wolves' struggles from beyond the arc continue. Nas, Nikhil, and Dante now combined for 2 of 17 from beyond the arc. SGA works on Dante, left side, and a grab on the back of the jersey by Dante. I can see that from here. As soon as you grab a fistful of jersey, forget about it. It's the easiest call in the world for the officials.
This is the knockout punch that Chris Finch is talking about. When you talk to him pregame, he's talking about being able to withstand a big punch when they throw it at you, and it's getting ready to happen. You can just feel it, that this team is getting ready to drop an avalanche on you if you don't play right.
We saw it here on New Year's Eve. Here's SGA spinning baseline. He goes up for the shot. It's rejected by Naz Reid. What a block. That's 6 blocks for this Timberwolves defense. Can they convert at the other end? 3:30 left to go in the third. Ant shoves off. Line drive. Top of the key jumper. No. Jalen Williams rips down the rebound. It's grab and go. Up the center of the floor. Now Ingles to his right. Dropping it for Isaiah Joe, who fires on the 3 and missed it. Rebound Nikhil Alexander-Walker. Here's Ant on the move. Crossing the timeline. Met by the 3-point line by Jalen Williams. Blows by him. Gets inside. Got the layup. It hit back iron and dropped through. 2 for Anthony Edwards. That gives him 18 for the game. 66-62. Thunder lead is 4. SGA got tripped up in the lane. He goes down, and a whistle and a foul. Well, you couldn't hear the whistle. Call made by Mark Lindsay. Chris Finch looking back at the second row. And it does not look like the Wolves. Now they will. They'll call a timeout and they will challenge this call.
There's no foul. There's no trip. He doesn't hit anybody's foot. And Nikhil's trying to get over the top of that screen, by the way. And
Minnesota coach's challenge.
And Minnesota's going to win this challenge. I mean, SGA
Minnesota's challenge the ruling of a
just absolutely falls down.
How about the PA announcer jumping in front of James Capers? I mean, let's let the crew chief handle those responsibilities,
just
all right?
the gun on that whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, James could have said, you know what? We're not doing that. And this is what infuriates teams, fans, that SGA gets that call because he gets a whistle when there was no contact there whatsoever.
And anytime he falls down, he sells it so well that referees just give him the call. So Chris Finch has to burn a timeout and trying to challenge this whole thing.
And you could argue, you're going to win it, so you'll get your challenge back, and you'll get your timeout back, but you now only have 1 challenge remaining, and you shouldn't have to burn it when nothing happens.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, our good friend Kevin Calabro is listening to us in Washington State up in the mountains.
KC has got us on?
Yes, he does.
I had a great chance to work with Kevin for 1 year in Seattle, back when they were the Sonics. I know the Thunder don't recognize the Seattle Sonic days.
He said, tell Horton he's a badass. And he's correct about that.
One of the all-time greats. Kevin is fantastic.
Great. Michael Grady and I just had a conversation about Calabro because I just, he's a top 3 broadcaster for me all time in my sports history. 63 years of watching sports on TV and Calabs, man. He and Lamar do a great job in Portland, and they deserve to be one of the best broadcast crews in the NBA, and they are.
He's got such a rich history with this former OKC Thunder team. I know a lot of people in the Pacific Northwest that always root against the Thunder. Still don't drink Starbucks coffee.
Yes, I know people who do that too.
Upon review, there is no illegal contact by the defender. So therefore, there is not a defensive foul. We have a successful challenge. The imminent possession was Alexander, so Oklahoma City will get the ball side out with 16 on the shot clock. The timeout is given back to Minnesota.
Well, then there shouldn't have been a whistle. Should there have been, James?
No.
He didn't blow it. Mark Lindsay did in his 18th year.
So Shea does a great job of holding on to the basketball as he fell down. He didn't try to do anything with it. So it's a smart thing. If you're going to do that, why turn the ball over? Don't throw it. Keep it in your possession. So even if you lose, you still win because they keep the basketball here.
Yeah. So the Thunder will trigger in the front court, right in front of the Wolves bench. Shea gets it out to Kenrich Williams. 13 on the shot clock. Williams hands it off. Here's Cason Wallace against Dante. Right by him in the lane. Defense collapses out to Caruso. Now Holmgren moves it to Kenrich Williams. Got to fire away with 3 on the shot clock, and he hits a pull-up 16-footer. Kenrich Williams, 68-62. Thunder by 6.
He's been a Timberwolves killer in his career, that's for sure. He's played some good games against Minnesota.
And on the move off the Rudy screen, top of the key. He's got Wallace on his hip. Now to the corner, Nikhil. Pump fake, flyby, moves to his left, fires the 3 and can't hit. The Wolves can't buy a three-point shot from one of their 3 bench players, Dante, Naz, and Nikhil. They're a combined 2 for 19. And back the other way, it's Kenrich Williams again connecting. This time a 3-ball, and it's 71-62. Here's Rudy, right wing. Nasri puts it on the deck with a left-handed dribble. Goes all the way in on Chet. Forces up the shot. No. Rudy taps the rebound out of bounds. Wolves are facing adversity now here. Down 9 with 2 to go in the third. This is eerily reminiscent of Game 1 here on New Year's Eve when the Wolves had a double-digit lead in the third to start it. Ended up down double digits at the end of the third. Shea with it. Stop and pop right at the lane. The 15-footer is good. There's still 1:50 to go in the quarter. Chris Finch has already burned a couple of timeouts here. He doesn't want to use another one. It's now an 11-point Thunder lead. First double-digit advantage for either side. Ant with a pull-up left side 3. Missed that off the back iron. Chet Holmgren up high for the rebound. Here comes Shea up into the front court. They'll angle to the right side. Kenrich Williams, an illegal screen. Tyler Ford makes the call. He was moving. He also got his arms up and clocked Nikhil right in the chin. So a rare mistake for the Thunder, and the Wolves will get the ball back.
Julius Randle's been down for a while. Chris Finch was a little bit unhappy with shot selection. I don't think he's all that thrilled with what's going on right now. That last shot by Ant wasn't all that great a shot, coming down and pulling right away, not making OKC work at all.
Here's Nikhil up the center of the floor, off to Naz, who rubs off the Rudy screen. Right wing Dante, catch and shoot 3, got 1. Dante DiVincenzo, 2 out of 8 from long range from distance. Wolves needed that. Back to single digits, 73-65. Shea rejects the Chet screen down the left side of the lane, banks it in for 2, and he draw a foul. It'll go against Anthony Edwards, and that's going to be his 4th.
Shea's turning it on right now, making all the mid-range shots. But if you let him reject, there's no big on that side of the screen, so then it just frees him up to be open, and then also that sets up the foul situation. So 3-point play here by Shea, and Jalen Clarkson in the game for Minnesota. All the foul trouble here is really hurting Minnesota. Ant now with 4.
20-5 run over a 6-minute span. And a foul in the front court as Dante got knocked down. Kenrich Williams picks up the foul.
Edwards with 4 personal fouls. Jake McDaniels with 4. Julius with 3.
Thunder had a foul to give, so Timberwolves will have it sideline out of bounds opposite the Thunder bench. Nikhil takes it. He's got the white headband on. He's guarded by Kenrich Williams. Here's Naz with a touch right back to Nikhil. 10 to shoot. Alexander Walker, Jalen Clark back in the game. He got some minutes in the first quarter. Here's Nikhil, drives baseline, hangs, kick out. Naz, he'll hoist on the 3. It's offline, and SGA's got the rebound with 42 seconds left to go in the third. Up the center of the floor, now up to 22 points. Circles off the Holmgren screen, got airborne and dished it back out. Cason Wallace with it. He gets by Dante in the lane, stops, lost the ball. He dives on the floor, gets it back, and now he's tied up. It'll be a jump ball with 9 on the shot clock. Let's see who's jumping it up. It will be Cason Wallace, and it'll be
Dante, I think.
Dante or Jalen Clark.
Dante was on the floor with his arms on the ball. I think he's the one that won.
You're right.
The battle, yep.
Timberwolves basketball tonight brought to you in part by Treasure Island Resort Casino. Book your stay now, TICasino.com. Good couple of minutes for Kenrich Williams as he comes off the floor to a big hand. Wallace and DiVincenzo will leap it up. 29.6 left to go in the third. Thunder now leads 76-65. Wolves win the tip as Rudy pulls it down in traffic. Now Dante up the center of the floor with a 3+ second differential. Game clock, shot clock. Dante will initiate the offense. He's just inside of midcourt, dribbling from the right hand to the left. Now between the legs, off the Rudy screen, to his left, drives in, try to lob it out. Jalen Clark's got it. Clark on the attack. He draws a foul going into the paint.
He's got a knack of getting fouled too, by the way.
He does. He just plays really solidly. Clark, 39 games in the regular season, 13 minutes a game, 4 points, a rebound. He had a stretch, where he played about 5 or 6 straight weeks there, where the Wolves had injuries. In fact, he played well against Oklahoma City, starting 3 of those games.
I got to tell you, too, with Terrence Shannon Jr., if Nikhil's going to struggle like this, I think that going to a Terrence Shannon situationally would be a good thing for his mindset and for this team. Terrence plays with such force. Yep. That this is what this game needs. They need a guy that plays with force in a game that's physical like this.
Strength and force, and I think Jalen and TJ both fit that category. Jalen missed the first free throw. The second one is up and in. It's 76-66. Down by 10. Thunder have it. 5 seconds left. They hit ahead to the corner, and Wallace right back to the trailer. It's Williams. His 3 ball's an air ball. It goes out of bounds with 1/10 of a second left to go.
They call that play actually Minnesota Smash. The play where they bring the 2 players in at the other end of the floor as Minnesota misses the long shot at the end of the quarter.
It wouldn't have counted had it gone with only 1/10 of a second left. But they got a pretty good look out of that play. Hitting ahead and then hit a trailer. Horn sounds ending the third quarter of play. The Wolves have work to do. At the half, they led by 4. They now trail by 10. Go into the fourth. It's the Thunder 76, the Timberwolves 66. You're listening to Minnesota Timberwolves basketball.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with a new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today, based on calendar year total sales.
Wolves fans, this team is only getting better, and next season starts now.
Nas with it off to Ant. Drives in and hammers it through with a right hand.
Bring it with a full, half, or quarter season membership and get playoff priority, exclusive perks, and every can't-miss moment from Anthony Edwards.
It's Ant's time. He's taking over here in the fourth.
Don't wait. Head to Timberwolves.com/memberships to claim your seats.
Oh, the energy in the building right now is through the roof.
When it comes to watching the game, it's always nice to sit and savor a delicious snack. And Jack Link's protein snacks always hits the shot. Jack Link's beef jerky is made with 100% beef that's simply seasoned in hardwood smoke to deliver a mouth-watering, flavorful, good source of protein, convenient snack. Jack Link's, the official protein snack of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
You're listening to the Timberwolves Radio Network.
So including tonight, the Timberwolves have faced the Thunder now 5 times this season. In the third quarter of each of the 5 games, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has gone for 19 points, 13 points, 16 points, 10 points, and the most crucial of them all, the third quarter of Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, he gets 12 points in the third quarter. It's the reason he's the number 1 scorer in the NBA overall, but he's also been number 1 in first quarters and number 1 in third quarters, and he's just dominated third quarters in particular, Jim, against the Wolves. In the regular season, he averaged 15 points on 71% shooting. Now, he didn't shoot great in the third quarter here, although he was 5 of 8. But he's led the. I feel like third quarters are huge for the Thunder, and we've seen this, especially here, them have big third quarters against Minnesota.
Yeah, he was really good down the stretch of the third quarter as well. And now you've got guys like Caruso on the floor. There are 8 defenders. Wallace is out here. Wiggins is an excellent defender. Chet and J-Dub as well. Jalen Williams.
So the Thunder go 20-6 to close out the third quarter. And that goes back to the 7:06 mark of the third quarter. The Wolves led by 4. They had just finished a 6-0 run, and then the Thunder got things going, a 20-6 burst over the final 7 minutes. And they now lead by 10. Here's Dante, left side off a feed from Randall. He'll fire on a 3. It's off the back iron, no. Thunder control the rebound. Jalen Williams, he's the center point of the Thunder offense here with SGA off the floor. Chet Holmgren slips the screen. Williams pulls up at the elbow. The jumper is long off the back iron, and Nas has the rebound. Wolves begin the fourth with Ant on the bench. They got Mike Conley, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, Jaden McDaniels, and Nas Reed. Randle one-on-one against Aaron Wiggins. Backs him down in the paint, turns. The double ensues. Out to McDaniels. Corner 3, missed it long. Nas read it perfectly. He's got it under the bucket. Pivots a couple of times. Gets his shot blocked. Still saves it. Back out to Dante, who buries his third 3 of the night.
How about that?
What a wild sequence that was.
Certainly was. Nas Reed sticking with it. Instead of throwing it out on the offensive rebound for a dagger, he tried to score it, got it blocked, but somehow fired it out to Dante for the 3.
He got blocked and came right back to him, and as he was falling out of bounds, Dante got hit. He's down, 5-on-4 advantage. Holmgren a right corner 3, and he buries it. Back to a 10-point Thunder lead with 10:45 left to play in the game. Here's McDaniels inside on Holmgren, the 7-footer. Kick back out to Nas, poked away from behind by Jalen Williams as he drove baseline. Timberwolves will have 13 to shoot.
I mean, they have to practice in terms of the hands that they play with, the way that they are always poking at the basketball and pressuring at all times. It's something that they have to practice because they all do it.
There is an official's timeout here as Dante DiVincenzo. We said he got knocked down.
Yeah,
there's some blood coming from his nose. And so Aaron Sear, the head athletic trainer for the Timberwolves, will attend to Dante. It's a de facto timeout here with 10:36 left to go in the fourth quarter.
He got smacked back on the defensive possession.
Wolves all-time in postseason play are 2-36 when they're down 10 or more points in a fourth quarter. One of those comeback wins came in game 4 of their first round matchup this year against the LA Lakers. The Wolves were down by 10 with about 11 minutes to play, outscored the Lakers 29-15 the rest of the way. The other come-from-behind win, if you're wondering, came against Sacramento back in 2004. That was game 2, also second round. So 2-36 when down 10+. It's hard enough coming back from double-digit deficits, what the Wolves have done a nice job of in the regular season.
Yeah.
But boy, you dial things up in the postseason, those comebacks are tough to find.
Especially here.
Along the baseline, Jaden will trigger in. Dante does stay on the floor. The inbound comes to Randall. He bangs with Caruso. Now steps back, fires on the 14-foot fall away, and hits. First 2 points of the second half for Julius Randle. He had 20 in the first half. Here's Jalen Williams off the Wallace screen to his left. Drives on Conley, bumps, backs, lost the ball, got it back. Now up top, Caruso. Caruso is going to fire on a 3 and rattle it in. So the Thunder starting to knock down some triples. It hasn't been a big three-point shooting night for them. Just 7 of 15, low volume, but high percentage, 47%. Wolves find themselves down by 11, 82-71. Dante the drive, the reverse layup. Chet read it perfectly. He blocks the shot, and then Dante fouls Holmgren trying to track down the loose ball. 9:56 to play, and the Wolves trail at 82-71.
You know, if you're going to put the ball on the deck like that with Chet Holmgren guarding you, you better have a plan. And if you feel like he's tracking you, you better keep your dribble alive and dribble out of that mess.
Chet Holmgren with it up top, tries to drive on Jaden. He's cut off. Now Holmgren got away with a travel inside, but he threw up an air ball, and Jaden McDaniels comes away with the rebound. Here's Randall on the move against Caruso. Lost the ball. Holmgren comes away with that. That's 4th turnover on Julius Randle. Jaden's got 3. Ant's got 2. Nas has 2. Corner 3 on the way for Case and Wallace off the heel, no, and the Wolves escape damage, but they still trail by 11. They've turned it over 16 times for 22 OKC points. Jalen Williams is everywhere. There's a reason why the Thunder lead the NBA in the regular season and postseason in deflections and loose balls recovered. So active. He poked it free out of bounds. Timberwolves have it. Dante off the Julius screen. Nothing develops. Dangerous pass. Cross court. Nas has it, though. Finger roll to rim. He got it. Jalen Williams was hunting for that steal. And if he got it, he would have had a breakaway. 9-point Thunder lead with 9 to play. Aaron Wiggins will bring it up on Dante. Left of the top of the key is pass deflected, but Wallace has it. Backdoor Holmgren slams it through for 2. Wolves trying to put some pressure on, and when you put pressure on, you get beat backdoor like that. Here's Naz Reid, baseline drive. He'll rise, and he got it knocked away by Caruso, who admits his guilt. 3rd foul on Caruso. 2 shots coming up for Naz Reid. Down by 11 with 8:42 left to go in the 4th. Timberwolves basketball tonight from OKC, brought to you in part by Eclipse. Want to arrive at a Timberwolves game like Jim Peterson does in his very own limo each and every night? Just contact Eclipse Transportation. You can make reservations by going to eclipsecars.com. And by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is proud to be the official bank of the Timberwolves. Nas gets a shooter's touch off the free throw, front rim, and it trickles in.
Minnesota has been one of the better points in the paint team here in the playoffs. They're 2nd in the NBA amongst all playoff teams in points in the paint. They've averaged 51.6 on the playoff season. That's 2nd in the league.
And tonight, points in the paint, 44-14 in favor of Oklahoma City.
It's just unbelievable.
Minus 30 in the paint.
And then defensively, Minnesota's been 2nd, holding opponents to only 39.6 in the playoffs as well. So it's completely out of their character in this game. They've not been effective getting to the rim, and it's something that OKC does. They take away the paint from you.
Yeah, they do. They're number 1. They're top 10 in limiting shots at the rim and number 1 defending the rim. Holmgren inside gets a feed from SGA, pivots and slams.
Right.
It's an 11-point Thunder lead now with 8:20 left to play. Jaden off to Dante. He'll turn fire on the 3. It clangs off the front rim, no. Dante has taken 11 threes tonight. He has missed 8 of them. Shea, deep 3 straight away, in and out, no. And Ant's got the rebound with 8 to play. Anthony Edwards, 18 points, 5 of 12 shooting against Caruso as he crosses the timeline. Ant struggled in 4 games against the Thunder, shooting under 40%. Gets it off to Dante, gives it right back. He'll pop on the 3. It's off the back iron. No. Holmgren up for the rebound. Couldn't squeeze it. Randall saves it. Out to Dante DiVincenzo. Dante to the right wing. Here's Nas. Pump fakes the 3. And the high post. He'll dump it inside. Randall goes up and's fouled from behind. Good recognition there by Nas. He saw Julius was kind of in his area, so he kind of drifted out and allowed the passing lane to Randall along the baseline.
Well, just keep playing. And that's what Chris Finch is telling these guys. All you got to do is keep playing, and heck of a possession right there to make something out of nothing. Great save by Julius that time to get it out to Dante, who was able to make something out of nothing. And Julius finally went in. It bounced around. It looked like it might have bounced out, but it nestles inside the rim.
The fact that the Wolves came here and had their largest fourth-quarter comeback in franchise history in February, does that seep into their brains at all? That, hey, we had some success here. They collapsed down the stretch. We dominated.
Never out of the game. Just keep playing. Trying to get stops. Chet's had his way here a little bit. He's gotten some easy dunks inside, but just keep playing. Minnesota's small now. Julius, the only big on the floor with Jaden McDaniels. Nas just checked out for Nikhil.
So Dante and Nikhil, Ant, Jaden, and Julius, as Jim mentioned. Here is SGA, left to the lane, bangs against his cousin. Looked like he got airborne. The shot, no, but a tip follow for Chet Holmgren. He kind of extended up onto his tippy toes, brought it down, then went back up, missed the shot, but Holmgren starting to find some rhythm. He's up to 13 points. Here's Randall wing left against Dort, cut off. Lou Dort playing with 4 fouls. Randall went down, lost the ball as Dort pulled the chair on him, That's 5 turnovers on Julius Randle. Left of the lane, SGA hunts for the foul. He got it. He flipped it up off the glass. It drops in for 2. The foul gets charged to Jaden McDaniels. That's his 5th. And that kind of typifies the 2 things the Wolves can't afford to have happen. Turnovers at one end and fouling SGA at the other. 90-77, and SGA somehow has 25 points, and he's only shot 8 of 24 tonight.
Yeah, and they've been really good at cashing in on Minnesota's mistakes. 16 turnovers. They got 24 points off of those 16 turnovers.
Another 3-point opportunity for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Led the league in scoring, 33 points a game. He was 3rd in scoring the prior year, 4th before that. Free throw is good, and Chris Finch needs a timeout. Feels like it's now or never with 7 minutes to go in Game 1. Timberwolves trail the Thunder 91-77 on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Hey, Wolves fans, listen up. Step up your shoe game this season with Trade Home Shoes, your Minnesota-based employee-owned retailer. Trade Home Shoes has on-trend footwear for the entire family. Brands like New Balance, Hoka, On, Birkenstock, Rival Shoes, and more. With over a century of experience in 130 locations nationwide, Trade Home Shoes is where generations meet comfort and style. Trade Home Shoes. Enjoy life. Feet first.
As a business owner, you understand the importance of protecting your reputation, workplace, employees, and financial assets. Our team is ready to help yours by creating a custom lineup of industry-specific coverages and risk management service to help you stay at the top of your game. Contact your local Federated representative for more information today. Federated Insurance. It's our business to protect yours. Rated A+, superior by AM Best Company.
At Target, we're home court advantage for the hometown sports fans. And with the Timberwolves season in full gear, we're here to help you gear up and make your game day prep a slam dunk. Hear that? That's what you call a buzzer-beating three-pointer for the win. Time to dish up your famous nachos or put a full court press on some jalapeno poppers. Then serve up some sweet desserts to celebrate the W. However you do game day, we're here for it at Target and Target.com.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters brings you its most popular show of all time, Grease. You'll hear all your favorite hits from the Broadway musical and the movie. Join the whole gang at Rydell High. We'll sing, we'll dance, we'll bring you back to high school life in the 50s. Poodle skirts, bobby socks, the soda shop, and drive-in movies. Grease! It'll rock your socks off. Order your tickets today. Visit chanhassendt.com.
Timberwolves got it down to 9, but a little 7-2 burst here by OKC has put them back up 14 as their largest lead of the game. 7 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Thunder coming off a 7-game series, which finished up just 2 nights ago here at Paycom Center. And Alex Caruso played a big role in the series win over the Nuggets. He was asked if the Thunder are going to have tired legs heading into this series.
To be honest, we don't have time to worry about if you're tired or not. Like, we're 8 games away from winning a championship. You know, like 4 games away from getting to the finals. All that's kind of out the window. Like, you just show up and do your job.
You know, and on that point, 38% shooting in the first half for OKC. They're now up to 47%, which tells you they're shooting up over 50% here in the second half. They found a rhythm, and maybe there were some tired legs to start, but they're kind of doing what they do. They force turnovers. They make life difficult for you. And they rely on SGA and Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren at the other end.
Chet Holmgren has been doing it on both ends of the floor. When he gets into shot blocking mode, he just feeds off it. I don't know how much you saw him play in high school and
none
at Gonzaga, but I mean, he's just got this great instinct defensively. That's been his calling card, but now he's been adding scoring the basketball, shooting threes, getting inside play. He's been great here in this half.
My only memory of Chet Holmgren is Jeff Munichie walking him around Target Center during some Wolves games during his Minnehaha days. Julius Randle cleans up inside for 2 with a left-handed lay-in.
His dad was my college teammate at the University of Minnesota back in the day. His That was a good player, too, from Prior Lake, Minnesota.
Dave
Holmgren, Big Dave.
84-88. Goal to Gopher. Thunder have it. Shea's got the ball in his hands. He's running away from Randall. Spins at the elbow, goes up with a right hand off glass. Julius did a nice job defending without fouling. That shot never hit the rim, and so when McDaniels and Chet Holmgren both get possession of the ball, there is no jump ball. It's a shot clock violation. And that is the 13th turnover. Nope, 14th now on OKC. But the points off of turnovers is startling, 25-8. And the points in the paint's not getting any better. It's 50-14. I mean, you're approaching 14 is an astronomically low number. Here's Nikhil, takes a run on Holmgren, gets to the other side of the cup and lays it in. 91-81, 10, down 10 with 6 to play. SGA off the Holmgren screen, drives by McDaniels all the way to the cup and lays it in off the glass for 2.
And that's where Shea gets leverage on Jaden. He's smaller. Jaden just can't get low enough to stay with him.
Nikhil on a drive, a kick out to Dante, who fakes the pass, lines up the 3 and missed it. Chet Holmgren with the rebound. SGA is a plus 19 in the second half of play. Well, actually, he's a plus 16, but a minus 3 in the first half. He goes around his back, still got Jaden on him one-on-one here, and he draws the foul, and Jaden just fouled out of the game with 5:21 left to play.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes you wonder, is Jaden the best matchup for Minnesota against SGS?
Second time in the postseason, Jaden has fouled out. It's the 4th time in 11 games he's picked up 5 or more fouls. You know, when the Wolves started this season, the first couple of months, it looked like it was going to be another long season where almost on a nightly basis, Jaden was getting himself into foul difficulty. And then that really, they shut the water off there somehow. He just started getting a good whistle, I think, and started asserting himself and really figuring out the nuances of the game to be able to defend the top players in this league without fouling at a high rate.
I also think that in some ways, you know, there was a part of the season when Chris Finch took away the responsibility of him having to guard especially the point guard position. You know, those little fast, quick point guards. He had other people guarding them at times, especially when Jalen Clark and TJ were playing. Let Jaden play off the ball a little bit more, which kind of relieved him, and he played better that way.
Nikhil will try a left corner 3 in front of the Thunder bench, and he'll swish that one through. Nikhil now 2 for 9 on his threes. I mean, Naz, Dante, and Nikhil, the numbers haven't gotten much better. They're a combined 5 for 26 from beyond the arc. Shea drives hard to the free throw line, step back jumper. And see, now he's gotten his rhythm going. And SGA is up to 29 points in this game. The 96-84 and Ants. The step out of bounds on the sideline. He was pressured by Jalen Williams. It's a turnover on the Timberwolves once again. And that is their 17th of the game. 4.5 to play. The Wolves are down by a dozen. SGA now matched up against Anthony Edwards. Dante comes on a double, bounce pass to Williams, extra pass Dort, corner 3 on the way is good. Timeout, Chris Finch. 99-84, the Wolves are down 15 with 4:24 to play here in Game 1. You're listening to the Minnesota Timberwolves Radio Network.
Postseason dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Whoa, take it easy there. There's a better way to NBA. All playoffs long.
Wait, really?
With the NBA app, you get real-time stats and scores for every playoff matchup. Witness playoff drama as it unfolds.
Seriously?
Catch every bucket all in one place, all for free.
Where have you been all my life?
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Hello, this is Jan at Toyota.
Hi, Jan. Is now a good time to get a new Toyota?
It is. We like to say your summer starts here at your Toyota dealer. Now through June 2nd, we have a great selection of Camrys, Corollas, Tundras, and more.
Your summer starts here. I'm a pet sitter, and business is way up as people enjoy their new Toyotas. Stop, Sebastian. Goldie is not dinner. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
Toyota, let's go places.
And the scoreboard update brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com today. Let's go places. All right, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals will take place tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden. We know Knicks fans have reached a fever pitch. They have an opportunity to exact some revenge on the Indiana Pacers, same Pacers team that knocked them out of the second round last season. Head coach Tom Thibodeau knows that although his team's much healthier this time around, this point of this playoff run, they're going to have to scratch and claw and earn each and every victory they pile up.
I think the important thing for us to understand as a team is that you have to earn your wins each night. So we're not going to win because we're home. We're not going to win because of, what happened previously or the history. We have to go out there and earn it with our play. It starts with your preparation going into the game to understand how important that is, and that's where we want to focus to lie. So we have an understanding. We know what the Knicks mean to the city, and so there's, I think, a responsibility that goes along with that.
And the Knicks boast the 5th best defensive rating so far in the playoffs. Obviously, Jalen Brunson leading the way on.
Tries to make one last push with his regulars. There's still too much time to throw in the towel. Yeah, it feels larger than a 15-point lead, but that's the way these playoff games go. Every possession feels so big. Every 2-possession, 3-possession lead feels insurmountable, but it's really 4:24 left. There's still too much time left to throw in the towel.
Right. And you think about the game in Houston that Minnesota played earlier. I mean, they were down 13 with 3.5 minutes to go in the game and came back and won that game. So you just never know what's going to happen. And this group can make shots in bunches, especially Anthony Edwards can go on a big-time run himself. So you have to keep playing. This is what we've been saying.
Wolves were down 16 at Houston with 4:42 left.
How about that?
And finished the game on a 23-6 run.
Yeah. No
Jaden, he's fouled out. Thunder are shooting 61% in the second half. Here's Randall, spins to the cup with a left hand. He got that one to drop.
And then
Thunder going really small here, aren't they?
I was going to say, they go with Caruso at the 5 down the stretch in games, but they got Holmgren off the floor. How much has Hartenstein played here in the second half?
Not much. Here's SGA drifting left. They run 2 at him. Bounce pass to Wallace. Fakes the pass, drives in, floats it up on the alley-oop. Sneaking in baseline is Jalen Williams, and J-Dub throws it home with authority. 101-86, third alley-oop of the night for the Thunder offense. Randall bully ball into the paint on Dort. Out to Nikhil, passed on the 3. Nas has it straight away on the triple. That's offline. Rebound tapped around, and a whistle stops play and a loose ball foul. It'll go against Lou Dort, and that'll be his 5th. They kind of run a double the last couple of times at Shea just to get the ball out of his hands, but it's a very kind of soft double. Wouldn't you want to run more aggressively at him and, maybe try to force something? Doesn't seem like putting him under much duress. Nas the drive, and he throws it out to the wing. He split the difference between Dante and Julius at the angle and threw it out of bounds.
One of the things that you can do on a nightly basis is pressure the basketball. It doesn't take any skill to do that, really. I mean, it takes energy to do it and a want to do it, but these guys, that's what makes them great, is that they are hard to play against individually all 48 minutes.
Jalen Williams gives it off to SGA. Rejects the Caruso screen. Drives on in. Now stops. Fades. Got airborne. And in the last minute, kicked it back out to Caruso. Dribbles into the 3 and hits it. Pull-up 3 for Alex Caruso. He's 3 for 3 from deep. He's got 9 points.
No ball pressure at all. I mean, Julius Randle had his hands down that time. And again,
Ant throws it away. Lou Dort with a steal. Thunder have it. They're up by 18 points with under 3 minutes to play. Shea looked like he was going to burn some clock. Now he drives, hands it off to Caruso. His shot rejected out of bounds by Dante DiVincenzo. Still 12 to shoot. I mean, when Shea drives, boy, he is sort of crouching down. It's like he's going down, then he'll step through, then he'll use a Euro step, then he'll stop and keep going. He goes through like 4 different moves on his journey to the paint.
He's a cat.
He is a cat. Jalen Williams off the inbound. One dribble, pull up, tough 15-footer over Nikhil. That rims off, and Ant's got the rebound. 2:35 to play, and the Wolves down by 18. Edwards against Caruso up top, gives it off to Naz Reid. Back to Ant. He's pressured by Caruso. Still with it against Caruso, left side. Now to Naz on the right wing, deep three on the way. That's offline, and the Thunder have the rebound. Edwards has 18 points in this game. He's only had 5 in the second half. And he's now 5 of 13 shooting, so he's 2 of 6. Only gotten up 6 shots in the second half. Jalen Williams crosses over, drives in. He gets fouled by Dante DiVincenzo. Naz Reid helps him from tumbling to the floor, but Williams will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. And while he's there, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification all across the Minnesota Timberwolves radio network. Along with Jim Peterson, I'm Alan Horton. We're at the Paycom Center here in downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma for Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Our studio host and executive producer is Cal Soderquist. Our engineer is Britt Lockhart. Our statistician, Super Dave Hanlon, remotely tonight. Studio coordinators Alex Leibold and Ben Haney. Glad you're along with us. 100.3 FM, KFAN The Fan in the Twin Cities. That's our flagship. The iHeartRadio app. Just go to iHeartRadio.com or download the app. It's free. Search Timberwolves. Click on that play button. You can listen for free from anywhere, from anytime. Timberwolves mobile app, NBA app, SiriusXM satellite radio, and all across the vast and ever-expanding Timberwolves radio network. Timeout has been called before the 2 free throws for Jalen Williams. It's 104-86. Thunder lead it by 18. Timberwolves led by as many as 9, but that was way back in the first half of play, which feels like hours ago. Thunder have their largest lead has been 18, which is right now. They've reached that a couple of times. But the big swing in this game came in the third quarter when the Timberwolves went on a 6-0 run to go up by 4 with 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, and the Thunder closed 20-6 over that 7 minutes. It'll be interesting to see what the shooting numbers are for the Wolves over that 7-minute stretch. I mean, 6 points in 7 minutes is just not going to get it done. Chris Finch has emptied the bench here. Luka Garza, TJ Shannon, Josh Minot, Jalen Clark, and Rob Dillingham on the floor. Kenrich Williams, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Ousmane Dieng will get an opportunity here. And A.J. Mitchell is the 5th on the floor. Although I mentioned 6, one of them eventually, I guess it's Jalen Williams, who will come out after the 2 free throws. And the Wolves will face a little bit of pressure here. Thunder not just going to back up, and now Jalen Williams commits the foul, and then he'll come out of the game, and Ousmane Dieng comes in.
Well, 19-point game for Jalen Williams on 7 of 18 shooting, but he got a big-time energy impact in this game. He's a plus 13. Shea with 31 on 10 of 27, so they did make him miss 17 times.
You mentioned Jalen. I got to interrupt you. He's got 5 steals, Jalen Williams.
Yeah.
Talk about energy. Holy cow. TJ Shannon elbow jumper rattled around. Looked like it was going to pop out and dropped right back in.
Minnesota's
TJ.
bench, man, they couldn't have played worse in this game.
106-88. It was a rough night for Naz, Dante, and Nikhil. Naz a minus 19, Dante a minus 18, Nikhil a minus 12. They combined to shoot 7 of 36 and 5 of 28 from deep. Here's Isaiah Joe, got Josh Minot in the air, draws the foul, he'll shoot 2. What's also surprising is the volume of shots that the bench guys took. And when we say bench guys, we're not just talking about those 3 guys in particular. Those are the main guys. Yeah. But they took 36 shots. They took 28 threes. Ant only took 8. I mean, Julius 6. Things got out of whack offensively. Yeah. Maybe the Thunder had something to do with that, maybe forcing those guys to shoot the basketball, but the Wolves have to have better offense.
It's one of the the things about this Thunder team, one of the earmarks of their team is they're difficult to get in the paint against. They have all these great perimeter defenders. They pressure the basketball every single time. There's a lot to be said for that.
Yep.
If I'm coaching a team, that's one of the things when I did coach, it's like I always would preach, be hard to play against.
Yeah, don't let anything be easy, even bringing the ball up the floor. If you can put some token pressure on, even just a little bit of pressure, that makes a difference. Corner three on the way is up and in. That's Dylan Jones who buries that one. It's 111-88 with a minute to go here in game one. TJ Shannon with it right to left here. TJ crosses over to the right hand. He rises at the free throw line. Jumper with that left hand is no good. It rolls off. And Isaiah Joe's got the rebound with 48 seconds left to play. Wolves have committed 19 turnovers tonight. 38 seconds left. Kenrich Williams, a right side three on the way. That's good. Well, the numbers are going to be really impressive in the second half for the Thunder. And they may have been a little tired in the first half. And obviously the Wolves had something to say about their performance in those opening 24 minutes. But the Thunder off and running in the second half, dominating and pulling away for the game one win. Jalen Clark misses a three. Mark Daignault says take the shot clock violation. There's less than a second differential. Thunder going to take game one. And, it's interesting. The Wolves dropped game one against the Warriors in the same scenario with a team coming off a 7-game series, having played 48 hours earlier. Come on, TV. Get your act together. Everybody's on the floor.
They're so quick to get their close-up.
The horn sounds here in game one in Oklahoma City. It goes to the Thunder. 114-88 is the final. Timberwolves led by 4 at the half. And they lose this game by 26 points. 114-88. Big-time numbers put up in the second half by this Thunder squad who won 68 games in the regular season. They shoot over 60% in the second half. And they manage over 60 points in that stretch. We'll put the numbers together for you next. Postgame gets underway from Oklahoma City next. 114-88. Stay with us. Head coach Chris Finch. Player reaction from this one. Updated scores from around the NBA. Plus highlights from this one. And our 3 factors all coming up on the Minnesota Timberwolves Radio Network.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
Hey Timberwolves fans, ready to score big with Wolves gear without breaking the bank? Let me introduce you to Sezzle and the Pay in 4 program. With Sezzle, you can split your payments into 4 easy, interest-free installments on all your Wolves purchases. From jerseys and hoodies to courtside seats, Sezzle has got you covered. Wherever you shop, however you rep the Wolves. Download the Sezzle app and get started today. Sezzle, the official jersey patch sponsor of the Timberwolves. Subject to approval, see terms and conditions at Sezzle.com.
This is the Federated Insurance Postgame Show on the Timberwolves Radio Network.
Jalen Williams gives it off to SGA. Rejects the Caruso screen. Drives on in. Now stops. Fades. Got airborne. And last minute kicked it back out to Caruso. Dribbles into the three and hits it. Pull-up three for Alex Caruso. He's 3 for 3 from deep. He's got 9 points.
No ball pressure at all. I mean, Julius Randle had his hands down that time. And again,
Ant throws it away. Lou Dort with a steal. Thunder have it. They're up by 18 points with under 3 minutes to play. Timberwolves fall in game one to the Thunder, 114-88. Timberwolves basketball tonight has been brought to you in part by Sezzle. 4-point play in the NBA, that's hard. Splitting your next Wolves purchase into 4 interest-free installments with Sezzle, that's easy. Download the Sezzle app today. Terms and conditions apply. And don't forget, Wolves fans, tickets, they might be still available. Go to timberwolves.com/tickets for any Western Conference Finals ducats that might be out there. And, of course, memberships for next season. Full, half, quarter season membership available. Timberwolves.com/memberships. Wolves fall 114-88. Jim, the Thunder put up 70 points in the second half. I haven't figured out how well they shot, but it was over 60%. What was the biggest key in the second half?
I got to say it was the ball pressure that OKC put on Minnesota. The fact that the Wolves never got a chance to get in the painted area, and they were able to turn Minnesota over, and it was demoralizing, really. I mean, you're saying to yourself, why are you continuing to fire three-point shots? They shot 51 threes tonight in this ballgame, and the points in the paint differential is just an unbelievable number. I mean, it got a little better. I mean, it's 54-20 at least, but I just think their inability to even move the basketball from side to side or getting into the painted area to be able to score it at any high rate at all was very demoralizing.
Yeah, at least it got out of the teens, right? It looks a little better with 20 instead of it was 12, 14, 16, 18. It really kind of moved along slowly there. But, man, the Wolves just kept turning it over 19 times for 31 points.
Yeah.
It's the volume of turnovers, and it's the rate with which, I mean, they almost scored 2 points per turnover. I mean, you're just helpless against this team when you turn it over.
Well, it was the way the game started, too, Alan, because they could have really built a big lead in that first half if they didn't turn it over and foul as much as they were doing. So, I mean, it's both things that they talked a ton about before this series started. So, yeah, Julius Randle mentioned to you in your interview with him. He said if we can just not turn it over, like that's the main thing they talked about. So, this will be good though. I mean, like they'll get it on video, they'll watch the video. Chris Finch is a master at being able to make and solve problems. Yep.
At least the streak came to an end. They had 3 straight games of 21 turnovers in a row. They only had 19 tonight. Although I would argue these 19 felt like twice as many as those other 3 games maybe combined. I just don't. It was just it started early and they never stopped, which is the problem. Early on, usually that's a trend that continues throughout the game. It's a tough thing just to shut off. Once you turn it over 7 times in the opening quarter.
Yeah, well, I'd like to know what it was our high this year against OKC in terms of points off turnover. I got to look that one up. It was just 31 points off of the turnovers. So the efficiency with which they scored was pretty amazing. So
yeah, it was.
They made them pay, and that's we knew that we couldn't make those mistakes in this game, and they played with fire.
Timberwolves all time in game number 1 and 14, 4-4 under Chris Finch, after they had been 1-10 heading into Chris Finch's tenure as head coach. Head coach on his post-game press conference.
It affected our defense. Fouls early, which I thought made us a bit softer than we needed to be. And then, it was just. Then when we did get good looks, they didn't go down. So.
You mentioned the defense became a little softer. Was that the main issue in your eyes on that end of the floor in the second?
Yeah, I think it was, like I said, our offense affected our defense, and that can't happen. And so.
Chris, the amount of good looks it seemed like you had from 3. I mean, how do you feel just about?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of good shots out there. I think we got to clean things up a little bit. Sometimes the passes were late. Sometimes we weren't quite shot ready. Sometimes we need to turn them into other plays. But I did think that we got a number of really good looks. And we really couldn't connect when the game was kind of turning against us. So.
And Julius was great.